hope you watched the first one, the first part. I hope there are no doubts in it. If you have any doubts, let me know. So you guys ended up with EBCG, right? So EPCG scheme is done. Yes. Okay. Okay. In EPCG scheme, people, just two things to add to the previous video. One is that they've added something called as the companies which are under bankruptcy and insolvency and bankruptcy code IBC. If you remember, you studying it in setting up of business entities, those companies on which insolvency status is going on, and such companies, even they will also have to maintain export obligation, right? They will also, if at all they have imported any capital goods, even they have to achieve this 6 times and all of that. Sir, for them, is there any concession and waiver? Yes, there is a concession and waiver provided. If you remember, there was something called resolution plan and all. So the interim resolution professional or the insolvency resolution professional, whatever is a resolution plan that is approved by committee of creditors, in that if there is any waiver, whatever is the waiver, people, and that should also be approved by NCLT, that is your appellate bodies, adjudicating authorities. So if NCLT also agrees that, people, then whatever is the waiver that is proposed in resolution plan, that will be exempted for this particular entity from achieving this export obligation. Yes, so that's one thing you just need to remember. Clear? And a second exemption, sir, for achieving export obligation is for those people who are exporting green technology products. Green technology means, people, it's not something like a color and all that. I hope you understand something related to solar or any environment friendly products. For them, the export obligation shall be 75% of the EO. Meaning, people, if it is 6 times, for them it is 4.5 times. So these two, people, just remember from your EPCG. Clear? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So yesterday we had seen one thing, people. I made you guys write one what do you say, a note which says that whatever are the what is that, first thing we wrote, the duty exemption schemes. So under that we saw advance authorization, we saw your DFIA, we also saw EPCG. If you are just done with the video, the second thing what we wrote was, people, something called as remission scheme. In customs, now there is something called as remission scheme. Now, people, for those of you who are watching it as an amendment video, for you here is an amendment. Now, what is that amendment, people? People, what do you mean by remission means, people? Remission means, people, you have given something. Now that you will get back. Now, people, I have to put it this way. Earlier, people, in this place, in the place of remission scheme, there was one more scheme, people. That scheme only was called as incentive scheme. Earlier, we used to have something called as incentive schemes. The two incentive schemes which was there for you guys, if you remember, the two incentive schemes was MEIS and SCIS. These two schemes were there. Now, what happened, people? India is a what is that, signatory to a agreement which is given by WTO, World Trade Organization. Now, according to WTO agreement, people, no country, basically there are some parameters and all, but I'll just tell it in this way. So if you are a signatory to that, the government of that country cannot come up with such incentive schemes. What do you mean by incentive scheme? If you remember, in MEIS and SCIS, you do more and more export, I will give you something like a what is that, a coupon. So it's like incentive given to you. So if you are a signatory to WTO, people, you are not allowed to give such incentive schemes. The government cannot give. This is not like recent. I'm not telling it's like an amendment in that WTO agreement. It's not an amendment. It was there by default. It was there. But India, the government of India, people, knowingly or unknowingly, we were not compliant with that clause. We should have not ideally done, but still we had this incentive scheme in our country. Ideally, it is against WTO's guidelines. So what happened? US filed a, you can say like a, uh, non-compliant clause on India. They said India has these schemes. They are giving incentives to the exporters, which is against WTO's agreement. So the bodies came to arbitration, international arbitrations and all, and it was decided, yes, it is very clear India had such schemes. So you cannot have such schemes. So because of this, people, we had to discontinue MEIS and SEIS. MEIS was basically given for people exporting goods. SEIS was for services. Now, in the place of incentive scheme, see incentive, they replace the word incentive with remission. Now, what is remission, people? You export whatever are the taxes you paid in India, the taxes will be given back to you in the form of remission. So, what is remission? What is the difference between exemption scheme and remission scheme? So, what is the difference between advance authorization DFIA and remission scheme? Do not get confused. Advance authorization, whenever I'm importing any raw material, or imagine if I'm importing capital goods, whatever is the import duty on it, that will not be collected from me. That is advance authorizations. So then what is remission scheme? People, I took raw material. Let us imagine bamboo. Bamboo was taken. Fair enough. But don't you think even locally there are so many things I will be taking? For example, people, I am an industry. Imagine I'm coming up with this, book making. I would need electricity. Of course, this heating will be there. No, imagine for this heating, I would need petrol, diesel, anything I'm consuming, and all these people, there is excise duties. There are local taxes levied. Now, advance authorization, import duty is exempted. What about this local taxes? For example, there is this excise duties and all collected from me. Now, that is also an expense only, right? So, people, to give that back to you, they introduced a scheme. Now, that scheme only, people, under this is called, yesterday we wrote remission scheme. There are two. One is called as people ROTEP, and next one was your ROSCTL. ROTEP and ROSCTL. Sir, now what is this ROTEP, sir? ROTEP stands for people remission remission of duties and taxes. Remission of duties and taxes on exported products. And what does ROSCTL stands for, sir? Rebate of state and central taxes, rebate of central, state and central taxes and levies. Yes, so there are two remission schemes. One is called as ROTEP and ROSCTL. From exam point of view, this is not at all important. There is nothing in fact. I just first tell it off to you with what is ROSCTL. We do not have ROSCTL at all. They have just mentioned there is one remission scheme. That mentioned that remission scheme is ROSCTL. It's nothing but people a special rebate given to a textile industry. That's all. What is textile? Your what is that? Your clothing industry. So for that, people, they have a special scheme. It is only for textile industry. This one, ROSCTL. It is governed by people Ministry of Textile. This is given by Ministry of Textile. Yes, so it is like what do you say? If people are into textile industry, they get you can imagine like they get some whatever the taxes they paid, they will get it back. So it is ROSCTL. The next scheme is called as people ROTEP. This RODTEP. Now look at the full form. What is RODTEP? It says remission of duties and taxes on exported products. Meaning what, people? Locally you have paid so many taxes. Locally you have paid so many duties. You export the product, I will give back all those taxes you have paid locally. Advance authorization was without paying taxes, you got the input. ROTEP, locally you have paid and you're exporting, whatever you have paid locally, that will also be given back to you. That is called as ROTEP. Yes, so people, regarding ROTEP, just make a note of these things. This can be important. So it's a remission scheme, people. Now, what is the object of ROTEP? Object of ROTEP, people, whatever are the duties whatever are the taxes, whatever are the levies, meaning people any other way if they have collected money. And this can be people, it can be even in the central level, it can be in the state level, it can be in the local level, it can be in the central, it can be in the state, it can be in the local level. If at all any duties, example excise duties, VAT, if at all they have collected anything which is paid on, so locally or central or state level, if you have paid anything on the exported product, so you paid and you have to export it, exported product, such things shall be refunded. I hope you guys are understanding what is ROTEP. People, from exam point of view, again you may expect a question here. Yes sir. Okay. ROTEP shall not be available, it shall not be available for taxes already exempted, for taxes already exempted. Under this scheme, a rebate is granted, to exporter at a notified rate as a percentage of FOB value. Remember, these rates shall be reviewed annually. Rebate allowed is subject to receipt of sale proceeds within the time allowed. However, one thing you need to remember, rebate is not dependent on realization of export proceeds at the time of issue of rebate. It is issued in the form of transferable duty credit or a scrip. Yes people, so remember this more than sufficient for ROTEP. Now what is ROTEP, sir? First I told you, so its object is, people, whatever is the duty, taxes and all you paid central, state, local level, all that, and the product is done and the product is exported, all the duties you have paid, people, will be refunded back to you. And how will it be refunded, people? Based upon the value of your FOB, a percentage will be set for a particular set of the industries. So a particular percentage value on the FOB will be given to you as rebate. Now let us take, for example, somewhere it can be between 1 to 5%. Now if my FOB value is, say for example 1 crore, proportionately people, say for example, let us assume 3%. 3% will be given to me back as a rebate for taxes paid. Now this is what is called as people your ROTEP. So it is always a percentage on the FOB. Now whatever this percentage people, the industry, the whatever is the percentages that has prescribed people, that can be reviewed annually by the your authorities. So every year it will be looked into, and if it is fair, it will continue. If not, they can even review it. Clear all of you? So that is only we have written. Under the scheme, a rebate will be granted to the exporter at a notified rate as a percentage of FOB, which can be reviewed annually. Rebate allowed is subject to receipt of sale proceeds within the time allowed. Now, what do you mean by it, sir? Now, remember, people, so you're telling me that a percentage of whatever is I exported, I will get it back as a rebate, correct? Now, how will that be given to you, people? It will be given to you in the form of a transferable scrip. Meaning, people, scrip is nothing but people a transferable instrument. Meaning, now whenever I get this instrument, now what I can use this instrument for, whether people, if you are having any imports next time, if you are doing any import, you can use this to avail exemption. Meaning, imagine next time I'm importing some raw material. On this raw material, I can claim exemption using this particular, instrument. Or if you think, no, sir, why would I need this? I have advance authorization and so many other schemes. Why would I need this instrument? That's the reason it is called as transferable scrip. Scrip means people instrument. Meaning, if you do not want to use, okay, sell it to someone else. Now imagine you got back around 3 lakh worth instrument. Okay, sell it in the market for 2.5 lakh. It's a benefit to you also. The other person can import something for a value of 3 lakh rupees. So it is a beneficial thing to him also, to you also. That's the reason it's called as transferable scrip. Now, sir, what they're telling you, whenever you want to get this rebate, sir, at that time I made a sale, but did you get the money? No, sir, I have not yet got the money. I have not yet got the money from that buyer. So without getting the money, will I get the scrip? Yes, you will get the scrip. Even if you do not get the money, as on the date of you submitting application and the authorities want to give you a rebate, imagine you have not yet given, you have not yet got the money, it is still fine, you will be given the rebate. But however, immediately when I'm giving you the rebate, it's okay, you need not have to receive the money. But in the long run, I'll be giving you a certain time period. In that time period, you have to collect this money. Failure to do it, people, this rebate, whatever is given, that will be taken away from you, or you will be charged accordingly. So at the time of giving rebate, I'm not telling you need to have this. It is not mandatory, but that doesn't mean that you need not collect it forever. That's the condition. That's what you wrote here. See here, rebate allowed is subject to receipt of sale proceeds within time allowed. So you have to get the money within a particular time. However, rebate is not dependent on realization of export proceeds at the time of issue of rebate. When I'm giving, it's okay, you need not have to get the money, but ultimately you have to get the money. This is called as people ROTEP. Is clear? So people, we saw advance authorization, DFIA and EPCG. These are people your duty exemption scheme. In remission scheme, people, you saw ROTEP, you saw ROSCTL, and people, there was something called as duty drawback. The third one is called as people duty drawback. Okay, I did not tell you the second point here. ROTEP shall not be available for taxes already exempted. Meaning what, sir? Now people, if you guys remember your indirect tax, people, there is something called as if you have to pay GST. Whatever is a GST you pay on raw material, and when you are supplying them, when you are selling them, you can claim something called as input tax credit, correct? ITC. So already this exemption is already given to you. Now that you cannot claim again here. So if there is any other taxes for which you do not have an exemption there, only that can be claimed here. You cannot claim everything here. Is this clear? That is what they are saying here. Clear? Now, sir, same like people, whatever we saw in ITC, GST, your input tax credit, same thing, people, happening in customs. You first import the raw material, you pay import duty on it, and you export that final product. After exporting the final product, whatever is the import duty you paid, you will get back the money, and that is called as people duty drawback. Sir, I feel it is somewhere similar to remission scheme, sir. Remission scheme is locally paid taxes. Duty drawback is for the duty you paid on the imports. Imagine if at all advance authorization or DFIA is not there, then what you need to do? You have to import the material by paying duties, no? So that duty after you export will be given back to you. That is also called as remission scheme only, and that is called as duty drawback. Is clear? Pakkana? Yes, sir. So these are the remission schemes. I hope it is clear, and I hope there is no doubts in this. Clear? Yes, sir. Okay, done. Now once we are done with that, okay, there were certain definitions we need to do. Let us do of the definitions. Generally, definitions can be important, but because in your attempt we have the new concepts, the definitions might not be so much important and all, but just know and go. Yeah. Okay. Act means people, Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act. In the chapter wherever they have mentioned act means, this is the act. Actual user means people, simple people. Now, whoever is importing the goods, let us imagine under EPCG scheme, you're importing some, let us take for example, some capital goods. Yes, sir. Or you can import raw material, any of it. Now, sir, who is importing and why are you utilizing it? People imagine I'm importing and why am I utilizing it, people? Why did I import? I imported because I have to use it for manufacturing something. Let us take, for example, I imported bamboo. Why am I importing, people? I'm importing the bamboo because I have to use it in my manufacturing of my books. Imagine I imported plant and machinery. Why am I doing it, people? Because I have to manufacture these books. Yes, people. Now, one type of person who is importing the product is using it for industrial purpose, meaning a manufacturing is happening. The second type of person who is importing this product, he may use it for other than manufacturing, meaning people, he is not doing manufacturing with it. For example, sir, education institutions. Imagine I imported this Apple pen. I'm not manufacturing anything with this, no? Then what am I called? So the person, whoever is importing and he's utilizing this product, such a person is called as actual user. Actual user. This person can be company, it can be individual, it can be anything. The person, whoever import goods, are called as actual user. Actual user can be of two types. One is called as industrial, one is called non-industrial. Industrial people, where the product will be used in a manufacturing process. Non-industrial means people, it is not used in manufacturing process. Example, education. It can be research and developments. It can be your what is that, laboratory facilities, labs. You know, this testing and all happens. They are not doing any commercial activities there. Hospitals, there is no commercial thing. I mean, what is that? There is no manufacturing happening, no? For example, what is that? MRI machines, what is that? Ultrasound, something and all. Yes. So basically, people, I can say service industry. So these are called as non-industrial. So there are two. One is called as industrial, one is called as non-industrial. Industrial, always manufacturing. Non-industrial, lab, see, R&D, education, hospital, service is called as non-industrial. Is clear? Yes, sir. Okay. Capital goods, people, we saw EPCG. Any plant and machinery, equipment or accessories required for manufacturing or production. So I take it and I use it. In one attempt, people, they have asked what is the difference between capital goods and what is the difference between consumer goods. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They have asked the difference, but for your attempt, they'll not ask. Capital goods means, people, I bring in a product and I'm utilizing this product for, doing some service. I mean, I'm utilizing this product for doing some activity. Meaning, for example, I might be using this plant and machineries. I can be using this big technologies and all. So all that will come under your capital goods. So what will come under consumer goods? The ultimately produced product. That is called consumer goods, which will directly be consumed by the consumers. Correct? So next ones are consumables. Consumables means any item which is required for manufacturing process, but does not necessarily form part of end product. IIO. Meaning, people, what do you mean by consumables? It seems consumables means, people, these are the products which is required for manufacturing, but if you look at the end product, this will not be seen, it seems. Such things are called as consumables. IIO. What are they telling? You need them with SIMS, but still it will not be there in the end product with SIMS. People, imagine manufacturing. You need heat. You will be, constantly, what do you say? You'll be boiling it. You'll be doing, what is that? That iron industry. Constant heat will be supplied. Yes or no? So people, what they're telling you, consumables means people, for example, petrol, coal, for heating agents. You're utilizing all this, but in the ultimate, now, for example, if you have to manufacture a soap, petrol is obviously not present in the soap, but to mold the soap into that shape, you would need heat. For that, you have consumed electricity, you have consumed fuel. Now, they will come under consumables. Understood? Okay. Next one, people, developer, same as SCZ people. Domestic tariff area, meaning, sir, India, sir, now there is a exporter, sir, he is exporting. Now, people, whenever he is exporting, people, now imagine, people, let us imagine this is SCZ. For SCZ people, this will be considering as a foreign territory, correct? SCZ is considered as foreign territory. Yes, sir. The rest of the India can be considered as DTA. Domestic tariff area means, people, nothing but the rest of the India. Yes, sir. Now, people, in EPCG scheme, you would have seen something. What? Whenever I import material from abroad, it is called as import. Sir, what if I buy it from India only? It is called as indigenous supply. Indigenous. Indigenous means, people, if I'm locally buying a product, it is called as indigenous suppliers. DTA means rest of India, apart from your SCZ. Clear? Export oriented unit, we'll see at the last. ITC. ITC is nothing but, people, Indian Trade Classification Harmonized System. Now, what is that, people? Very simple. In short, I'll tell you. Now, obviously, people, now whenever I'm telling you, I'll be exporting, those books. Now, whenever I'm exporting, people, I told you, we'll have to go through customs clearance. Now, obviously, people, it is not so easy, right? There are lakhs of products which we can export. Sir, everything, if we give a name, let us imagine I'm exporting books. Sir, for the customs authorities or for the system to know or for the system to read, what is this product being exported? If it is in the form of books, people, it is difficult for the system to read. So what we have done, people, we have given a classification. We have given a number. ITC HS, people, it can be generally 2, 4, 6 to 8 digits. This, what is that? Trade classification, that number. Indian system follows, people, 8 digits. So all the products have been given a number. So whenever you're exporting or importing, you'll be quoting this number. So the systems and the customs authorities will know, okay, this is a product. You can imagine like a barcode. Yes, sir. And one good thing is that the ITC-HS, that is Indian Trade Classification Harmonized System, it is in line with internationally accepted nomenclature. Meaning whatever is the number used internationally, it is similar in India also. In internationally, people, we use generally 6 numbers. To these 6 numbers, we have given sub-classifications. We have added another 2 numbers. So in India, we use 8 numbers. 6 numbers will be in line with international standard. 2 is for Indian reference. So this is how our ITC is done. So in this ITC, people, there are 2 schedules. One is called Schedule 1, one is called Schedule 2. Schedule 1, people, is completely for your import policies, import of items. Schedule 2 covers everything which is with regards to export policies. Yes, sir. So unless and until specifically given, people, this ITC covers only new goods and not second-hand goods. Just remember that. Clear? Yes, sir. Okay. So next one, sir, jobbing. Jobbing is nothing but, people, outsourcing. Meaning, sir, for example, people, let us imagine I want to export shirts. I come up with shirts. I stitch the shirts, but the buttons and all is not my cup of tea. I do not know. So I give it to another person. He stitches the button and gives it back to me. Now this is called as jobbing. So a semi-finished product will be given to someone, a job worker, and he will complete it and he will give it back to me. And such things are called as, people, jobbing. Remember. The next one is called as, people's SCOMET. SCOMET, people, full form, a nomenclature for dual use items of special chemicals, organisms, materials, equipment, and technology. Put together is called as SCOMET. Now, what is SCOMET, people? SCOMET is nothing but, people, these items have dual use. Now that's all. We do not have what is this dual use. Generally, I would not tell you also. I will tell you a very simple example. Dual use means people a product which will be having two uses. So for example, I used to tell, to give you an example of dual use. Dual use means people, let us take for example, alcohol. Alcohol has dual use, right? One you can consume it as alcohol, next one can be used it in medicines, correct? Now that is called as dual use, but that is not required for you, but I'm telling you what is this dual use according to FTP. Generally I won't say, but yes, what is this dual use, people? Whenever a product has dual use, what is this dual use, people? One is in terms of military and one is for civilian purpose. When the same product has two different purposes, it can be used in military operations also, it can be used in your regular civilian purpose also. Such products are called as comet items. So that's what I've given you extra. Dual use refers to nature of an item, allowing it to be used in military application or in weapons of mass destruction, as well as civilian or industrial applications. Such items are called as, people, your comet. Example, people, drone. Drones, you guys use it in civilian also, even military operations also be used. Drones are used. Example, telecommunication, they have this walkie talkies, whatever the radio signals, correct? So even industrial also, it is civilian is also used, military is also used. So these things can be classified as what, people's comet. Yes, they will not ask. Sion standard input output norms. Yesterday I told you when we were explaining status holder. Status holder we saw. Handbook of procedure, meaning whenever I have to carry on FTP, I need to know procedures. So the procedures will be given in this particular chapter, that is called as handbook of procedures. Complete procedures with regards to FTP. DGFT, I told you yesterday only, this person is the person who formulates and implements the foreign trade policy in India. Clear? Okay. So these are the definitions, just remember. Okay. Yesterday, I believe we did not do this Niryayat Bandhu hand-holding scheme for new export or import entrepreneurs. Okay. There's one thing I'll just tell you. Again, in facilitating the trade and highlights of FTP. Yesterday, I told you, people, there is a policy called as T. To become T, people, the entire town has to contribute for the exports, 750 crore, 150 crore if it is handloom and all. Sir, what if my district does not have so much? But still we want to be promoted. What does government do, people? Government has broken down this particular initiatives into as minimalistic levels as possible. So now what they have done, they are going to identify districts, people, and in each districts they are going to form committees. Now what will this committee do? In this district, whatever is very popular or whatever is famous, as I told you yesterday, say for example, if it is certain products will be in certain places. Say for example, if you have to take Solapur, in Solapur, people, they are famous for this chappals, that wooden chappals, and certain places can be famous for sweets. So if at all the district feels, people, this any particular product has so much of potential to contribute to exports. So what we do, we form some committees in the district level, and this committees in the district level, they will come up with action plans. How do we develop this particular district in the terms of exports are concerned? Yes, sir. Now that is what is called as, people, your district level export hubs. So this is called as developing districts as export hubs. Now what do you mean by that, sir? See, district export promotion committees. Now what is that? Every district has products and services which are being exported and can be further promoted along with new products or services to increase production, grow exports, generate economic activity, and achieve the goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. So in your district there are these products. To identify them, to push them to the next level, people, what will be done? The district level, they will be forming certain committees, the district export promotion committees. Now what do? The products or services with export potential that I told you, Solapur chappals and all, in each districts have to be identified. An institutional mechanism in the form of district export promotion committees at every district level is to be created to provide support for this export promotion and address the bottlenecks for export growth. What is bottleneck, sir? Bottlenecks means people, what are the challenges these products are facing and how do we address this? See, in center, one person wants to do changes in the export thing throughout the country. How will he know what is the challenges we are facing here? We have power cuts. How will the person sitting in center know? So what we have done, we have tried to break down the chain into as minimalistic level as possible. So we form something called as district export promotion committees. Who will sit in this district export promotion committee, sir? Your collector of the district people or district magistrate or collectors. These people will be the chairman of this particular district export promotion committees. And it will be co-chaired by designated DGFT regional authority within various other stakeholder as its members. So all these people will form something called as District Export Promotion Committee. The primary function of DEPC will be to prepare and implement district specific export action plan. They will come together and they are going to implement this something called as action plan. That is what we discussed. So we will identify very high potential products. We will work towards that. We will give them proper production facilities, how to export. We are going to handhold them, meaning people, whatever are the inputs required, whatever are the facilities required, all that will be part of your district export action plan. Understood? Sir, so this is what I told you. Central, now district level. Now, this is done in district level. The same thing will be implemented even in the state level. And this policy is only called as people Niryayat Bandhu. Niryayat Bandhu means people. Ayat means people input. Niryayat means people export. Niryayat Bandhu means people, someone who is helping you to export. Yes, sir. That is what is called as hand holding scheme. Clear all of you? Simple? Yes. Okay. Once that is done, we have done remissions. Okay. Technically, people, I believe the most important topics are these. The topics which are yet to come are like, okay. Nonetheless, we'll see what it is. Okay. Yes, people. So till now, what we have done, we have seen people. Highlights we have seen. What are the facilities given to facilitate the trade we have seen. We have seen duty exemption schemes, duty remission schemes. Now, sir, we are going to see more about import, export and general procedures. What are the other things you need to know? Yes. Okay. General provisions regarding import and export. General provisions. Policy regarding import or export of goods. So generally, it is applicable to import as well as export. Now, what is that, sir? Export and import shall be free. Now, generally, people, you can take it like this, sir. Import and export people, I can put it under three categories. One is people free. Next one, people prohibited. Next one, people restricted. I can put them under three categories. One is called prohibited, one is called restricted, one is called free. Free people, you do not need anyone's authority. You do not need anyone's approval. Prohibited people, you cannot import or export these items. Restricted people, you can import or export these items provided you need to take DGFT approval. That's all. That is what is the summary of this. Then, yes, okay. Compliance of import with domestic laws. Now, what is that, sir? In India, you are not supposed to sell drugs, ganja, weed. All these are prohibited. Sir, in India, I cannot grow. Okay, can I import it from outside India? People, whatever are the domestic laws in India, the same laws will be applicable even on your imports. That is the second one. Simple. However, goods to be utilized or consumed in manufacture of export products may be exempted by DGFT from the domestic standards or quality specifications. Meaning, sir, if there is something you are doing, sir, which is not touching India, it is completely for exports, then people, DGFT can consider the matter and they can exempt you from certain restrictions. Clear? Done. Next ones are import-export code. Again, there is a small amendment here. What is the amendment? Earlier, people, there was a big procedure and all given. Now, the entire procedure and all is taken away. Now, what is left, sir? Very simple thing, people. If at all a person who wants to do a import or export, anyone, if you want to do either import or export, if you want to do it, first thing, people, you need to have a license to do it. The license is given by DGFT. And how is that, sir? Now it is completely online. You need to file an application to DGFT, and DGFT will allot you the import export code. Now import export code is similar to your PAN number. It will be 10-digit alphanumeric number. The same thing only will be allotted by your DGFT. IE code people is valid throughout your life. There is no renewal as such required. However, every year you will be given a term. Basically people, between April to June, every year if there is any change in the details you have uploaded, imagine your address got changed, imagine any details of your factory got changed, you need to intimate to the authority between this April to June. This window will be applicable every year. If you fail to update the details, people, your IE code, your license will be deactivated. Once you rectify it, obviously it will be again activated again. Now, whatever is the entire procedure, everything is completely online. Clear? That is your IE code. Simple. Earlier there was big procedures and all. Now nothing is there. Yes, people. So IE holder has to ensure the details update electronically every year during the April-June period. In cases where there are no changes, IE details same also needs to be confirmed. You need to say there are no changes also. An IE code shall be deactivated if it is not updated. After updating, it will be also successfully renewed. That's all. Clear? Okay. Next one, sir. Mandatory documents for export or import of goods. Now, people, they have not given. Whatever is given in green, extra information, people, whatever is given in green is not directly there in your syllabus. They may ask you, whenever you are importing any goods, what and all are the documents you need to submit? When you're exporting goods, what and all the documents you need to submit? The first thing, people, whenever I'm exporting goods, what and all are the documents you require when you're exporting the goods? First thing is called as, people, bill of lading. Bill of lading is used if it is ship. Airway, air. Lorry, lorry. Railway. Sir, we know all this, sir. People, that means that there are different modes of export. You can export it through ship, you can export it through air, you can export it through lorry. Lorry na, hey, there are land borders connected to India, noda. China, Nepal, Bhutan, all these are connected through road only, no? What, you will take ship into the city, country, huh? No. So for that, you will do it through lorry only. So there, your lorry receipt will come. Railway, through railways. Yes, postal is, I told you, two types of export. One is cargo and one is courier. Courier is postal receipt. Okay. So whenever you are exporting, so let us imagine I'm exporting a particular container of items. Let us say, for example, our movies, they will show no big iron containers. In that harbor, it will be there, no, near the ship. Our hero and villain and all will fight. So, sir, my items are there in this container. Now, what happens, people? This container will be loaded onto a ship. It will be loaded onto a ship. Yes, sir, it will be kept on the ship. Once it is kept in the ship, people, this ship captain, the captain of a ship or this shipping company, this person will give me a invoice, or you can not invoice, he will give me a bill. It is nothing but, people, whatever are the goods loaded on a ship from you, whatever are the goods that is loaded on the ship, he will give you an acknowledgement. Yes, this items have been loaded onto my ship. It is nothing but acknowledgement of the list of items loaded to the ship. That's the reason, people, it is called as bill of loading only, people. It's nothing but bill of lading. It's nothing but the bill given to you for loading the items given by the ship, basically the captain of the ship. So whenever you are exporting, whatever products are kept on the ship, he will give you an acknowledgement. Yes, these items are kept. Now, people, this container will be there. No, once, okay, I'll tell you everything. The next one is, people, commercial invoice. Invoice means nothing but, people, your bill. That is the second document. Third document, people, is shipping bill or bill of export or postal bill. Now, what is this, sir? You can imagine like this, people. Now, imagine, people, here is the ship. The customs authorities, they will have a gate here. There will be a gate here. Imagine this is a gate. And this is completely your customs authorities. And sir, now you come here, people, to export. First thing, people, your products will be checked by the customs authorities. The customs authorities will ask you what and all is there in this container. You will give a list to the customs authorities. The list you are giving is only called as people this shipping bill. Shipping bill people is nothing but a document submitted by the exporter to the customs authorities. You are telling, sir, in my this thing, this items are there, sir. Customs authorities people will look at the items given to you, the list you have given to the customs authorities. They will open the container, they will inspect everything inside. If everything is fine, the containers will be closed, a seal will be put, people. A seal, people, this is like a non-removable seal. You cannot remove this. If you try to do anything, people, it will break. If it is broken, people, that means it's nothing but smuggling. Yes, sir. So, sir, now it will be taken to the ship. The merchant of the ship, the captain of the ship also will say, yes, sir, this items have been successfully loaded. Now, once he gives you, people, now that is called as what, people? Bill of lading. So, two documents. One is called a shipping bill, exporter submitting it to the customs authorities, and the goods will be loaded onto the ship. The merchant, the captain of the ship will give you this bill of lading. Original copy will be given to you. Now, what will you have to do? This original copy, whatever you got, this is nothing but your bill of lading, the original copy. The bill of lading, you need to courier it to the buyer. Original copy. You need to courier that particular copy to the buyer. Now, the buyer will get it. Now, the goods will be shipped from your country to another country. The buyer will have to take this particular thing to the shipping company. If you give the original bill of lading, only then the shipping company will give you the materials. If not, they will not give you. So now, what are the documents required for import? Again, bill of lading will come. Understood? Sir, now this is given to the shipping company. I understood. Shipping company is like your normal logistics people. That is nothing, nothing else. So just like how your truck and all works, same thing the ship also works. That we understood. But sir, now importer, should he give anything when he is importing the goods? Yes, people. Just the way you give shipping bill when you are exporting, you will be giving something called as, people, bill of entry when you are importing. Bill of entry. Sir, what and all items I am going to bring into the country. Yes, sir. So people see mandatory documents for import. One is called bill of lading. Whatever you got, the original copy you have to submit it here, no? And sir, invoice, and people, bill of entry. Bill of entry is nothing but a document given when you are importing the goods. Understood? Sir, imagine, sir, the bill of entry is, sir, I'm telling this items I'm importing, sir. The container will be opened by the customs authorities. In the list, if at all there is any item, and that item is not there in the container, or if there is no item specified, but it is there in the container, it is called as smuggling. Understood? Yes, sir, authorities can also ask any additional documents if required. Yes. Okay. Next one, sir. Principles of restrictions amended, sir. Again, people, for old people, there is an amendment here, so pay attention. Earlier, there was something called as restricted items. Principles of restriction. They have added some details, or they have added some content to it. So that is only called as principle of restriction. Now, what does that see here? DGFT may, through a notification, impose prohibition or restriction. Meaning, sir, DGFT people, based upon circumstances and situations, he is free to take any steps prohibiting any item from import or export, restricting any item from import or export. When is it done, sir? See, DGFT may, through a notification, so DGFT may impose any, prohibition or restriction on what? On export of foodstuff or other essential products for preventing or relieving critical shortages. If you remember essential commodities, if there is something which is essential, sir, the DGFT can say these items cannot be exported. He is free to put prohibition or restriction. Yes. On import and export necessary for application of standards or regulation for the classification grading, I can say restricted. You are not supposed to sell any product. You cannot export a product lesser than this quality, because in the international market, our respect will go for a toss. For example, every product will have grades, no, people. I believe you know standards. Imagine tea, first grade, second grade, third grade. So I can say you cannot sell any product in the outer market, that is export, less than second grade. I can impose restriction. on imports of fisheries product. Fisheries means people marine products. Next one, on import to safeguard country's external financial position. Meaning people, our forex is depleting. I can say people no import for certain time. On import to promote establishment of particular industry. On imports to promote establishment of a particular industry. Imagine handloom. I want to promote handloom. I can say you are not supposed to import anything with regards to handloom because I want to promote my thing in India. I can restrict imports. For preventing sudden increases in imports from causing serious industry to domestic producers. Same thing. Toys. Imagine you guys are importing so much of toys. In India, in local market, there are so many people who manufactures that. If they are coming under danger, I can put a prevention. For protection of public moral or to maintain public order. Drugs, cocaine, all those things. For protection of human, animal or plant life or health. So for that, if I can impose anything, yes, here also you can put tobacco, cigarettes, all that. Relating to gold or silver, yes, always gold or silver will come as a different category only. Necessary to secure compliance with laws and regulation, including those relating to the protection of patent, trademark, copyrights. People, I'm doing import. Someone outside India is trying to manufacture counterfeiting products, meaning people, imagine in our India we have our local brands. Someone outside India is printing fake and he's selling it to India. I can impose restrictions. Relating to products of prison labor, meaning people, whenever our prison, our jails, in the jail our labor will mean our prisoners will be there. Whenever they are in jail, people, they will be, how do I tell? So you can imagine this way, people. In prison, people, as their day-to-day activity, they'll be doing one or the other activity. For example, Sanjay Dutt was, manufacturing this carpentry works. So this chairs and all he was doing. So to, what do you say? They can make policies to uphold this prison labor products. They come up with saris. They come up with textiles. They can make any restrictions. They can make any prohibitions. They can make even liberal policies to export also. That is also allowed. For the protection of national treasure of artistic, historic and archaeological value. So anything which is archaeological in nature, that I can do it. For example, your old statues, the copper items, our movies and all, they will show no. For the conservation of exhaustible and natural resources, coal, gold. For ensuring essential quantities for the domestic processing industry. So people, for us only it is not sufficient and you're exporting it, I can prohibit it. For example, in the time of COVID, there was a lot of controversies on vaccine that we only didn't have, but still they exported so many things outside India. So I can put a restriction. Essential to the acquisition of distribution products in general or local short supply, same thing. So locally only there is a short supply, for that I can put a restriction. For the protection of country's security interest, meaning people, fissionable material. What is fissionable material? That nuclear fission, fusion, traffic in arms, ammunition, implements of war, gun and all. War or other emergency. So for all this, I can impose restrictions. Yes. In pursuit of country's obligation under United Nations, international peace and security. To maintain international peace and security, I can restrict or I can prohibit any items. Yes. Here they have added certain things. So yes, no and go. Terms and conditions of an authorization, general procedure. Whenever I'm coming up with import or export, these things have to be kept in mind. Since what? Description, quantity, value of goods, actual user condition, export obligation, minimum value, minimum export. We saw all this, no? Bank guarantee, legal undertaking, or bond with customs authority. Now, what is this, sir? Whenever people, we are importing any duty-free products and all, the customs authorities will tell us to give us a bond, or they will tell us to give a bank guarantee or a legal undertaking that tomorrow if something happens, you will have to pay the taxes or duties. So that will be taken from you. It is generally taken when it is a import of a duty-free product. Yes, sir. Validity period of import or export. We saw no advance authorizations or export obligations. All the thing you need to keep in mind. For all these things, people, whether IE code, authorizations, license, advance authorizations, duty remission schemes, for all these people, they will collect fees from you. That also you need to pay. Clear up? Yes, sir. That's general rules with regards to import and export. Next things are prohibition on trade. You can leave these people, but okay, just this, if you guys want, just take a quick picture of RODTP. I believe I'm showing it at very later. I believe you guys would have copied also. Okay. There is next thing, people. There is something called as prohibition on trade. Prohibition on trade. I can classify this into 5 categories. Okay. Prohibition on import and export of arms, import and export of arms and related thing. I'm just writing as kind, meaning arms, ammunition, and all of that, to or from Iraq. However, export to government of Iraq is allowed. Export of Iraq is allowed. However, you need to get a NOC from Department of Defense Production. Simple, people. Now, whenever we are doing some trade, there is a absolute prohibition on we doing some trade for a specific product with certain countries. One of that is, people, Iraq. Obviously, because of whatever activities that has been happening around, we have a specific prohibition on you supplying any agreement or you supplying any goods with related to people, arms and ammunition, guns, all these people not allowed. So import and export of arms and any kind to or from, you cannot import also, you cannot export also to any local person in Iraq. However, if you want to supply or import, or if you want to meaning if you want to export to the government of Iraq, you can do it, provided after taking NOC from Department of Defense from India, you can do it. Yes, sir. Just know and go. 100% they won't ask you. Yes, sir. Prohibition of trade with ISIL, ANF, and other groups associated with Al-Qaeda. Now, what is people is nothing but people, terrorist groups. It is nothing but terrorist groups. If you want full forms, it is here. Sir, Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant. Levant means this is ISIL, people. Islamic State in Iraq and Levant, also known as Daesh, also known as people ISIS. ISIS is nothing but them only, ISIL only. Yes, sir. ANF people, Al Nusra Front, again people, they are, all these are the groups of Al Qaeda only, terrorism, which was started by who is he? Osama bin Laden. So obviously, all this and all you cannot do, obviously. That's what they have said. Next one, again prohibition on import and export to or from yes, sir. Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Democratic People's Republic of Korea. This is nothing but people, your North Korea. This is nothing but people, your what is that person? Kim Anna. So people, obviously they are obviously having their nuclear thing and all is going on. People, they are nuclearly the war and all the things and all, how the scheme government is. So obviously all of this is prohibited. Next one, prohibition of import and export from Iran. Next one, prohibition of import of charcoal from a place called as Somalia. So from all these places, there is a prohibition. One is, we saw, first one is Iraq. Next one is Al Qaeda or terrorist related groups. Next one is North Korea. Next one is Iran. The last one is called as Somalia. Not everything, only charcoal. Why charcoal also? In Somalia, people, this charcoal has become the smuggling happens, terrorist activities happen, criminal activities happen. It is not legally done in Somalia. So all the countries have prohibited buying charcoal from Somalia because it is happening criminally, illegally. So if you are doing that, that is also prohibited. So these are the prohibited list of imports and exports generally. Just know that and go. More than sufficient. Export or import of goods, EOU, EHTP, STP, BTP. This will do one thing. This will keep it at the last only. Everything will again come. Okay. Yes, sir. So we'll just go for a break. So see till here. I hope once we do this and we can continue. I hope we have done most of it. Okay. Then we have import export. Once import export is done, we can start with EOU, ETP and all. Okay. Fair enough. So go for a break, and after it we can again continue. Yes, people, welcome back. I hope you guys have watched the videos, the previous videos, whatever is uploaded. I hope there is no confusions. If there is any questions or something, please let me know. Yep. Okay. Done, sir. Yes, people. Okay, much better. Yes, sir. So till we have seen till the prohibition part. So let's start with the next part. The next two parts are called as import and export. Probably in the long run, this can be somewhere they can ask a question. But if you ask me from EBCL point of view, the chances of asking question from the next two topics is very, very less. Very, very less. Yeah. So when you are preparing from an exam point of view, just know and go, but don't pay too much of attention into it. That's fine. So the next two topics are called as imports and exports. So whenever you are importing a product, what are the rules? What are the things you need to be aware of? Whenever you are exporting, whatever the things you need to be aware of. Yes. So generic things. First thing, sir, import of samples. Now, whenever I'm importing samples, can I import? What do you mean by import of samples? Sample means what? Something which I am going to try it out. If it works, then I'm going to do it on a whole scale. But what if it doesn't work? Now, say for example, before I start taking a franchisee of any foreign brand here, I want to get some samples into India. I want to try it out in Indian market. If it works, then I'm going to expand it. What if it doesn't work? So that is called as samples. So can I import samples into India? Samples, people, I might be making money, I might not be making money, anything. They are telling you are free to import samples of any product. It is allowed. There is no authorization required as well. So meaning you need not take any DGFT approval or any such things. Yes. So that's the thing. No authorization shall be required for import of bona fide. Bona fide means genuine, technical and trade samples of items restricted in ITC except defense, security items, seeds, bees and new drugs. Meaning people, whatever it is, you can take samples. That's absolutely fine. Sample items, there is no problem.
except defense, security items, seats, bees and new drugs. Now these things are not allowed. Except this, anything is allowed without authorization. This also can be allowed with authorization, with approval. Yes. Next one, import of gift. Gift means, people remember, you are bringing something to India without paying any money on it. So sir, if it is a general commercial export or commercial import, we will generally pay import duty and we will bring it to India. What if it's a gift, sir? What are the procedure they are telling you? If it's a gift, import of goods including those purchased from, however you purchase, imagine Amazon.com or whatever the other things, Snapdeal or whatever, eBay, there is something and all, no? So however you bring it, through post or courier, where custom clearance is sought as a gift, meaning in the customs documents, in the import you are doing, you are writing it as a gift. They are telling you it is prohibited. You cannot bring anything into India as a gift, it seems. Yes, sir. Except for life-saving drugs, medicines and Rakhi, but not gifts related to Rakhi. Medicines and drugs, people, it's fine, you can bring it. Rakhi, people, I'm telling the what you tie, that thread, that can be brought in, not the gifts associated with Rakhi. Rakhi can be brought in, but not the gifts associated with Rakhi. That's what is given here. Rakhi, but not gifts related to Rakhi, will be covered under this Customs Act. No duty shall be collected if the amount of duty leviable is equal to or less than ₹100. Meaning, sir, whatever is the customs duty that will come on that particular gift, that is on Rakhi, it will not be collected from you if the customs duty is coming up to 100 or less than 100. If it is going beyond that, then they will collect it from you. Yes, sir. That's why I told you, people, it's okay. Whatever the concepts we have, in front of those concepts, they will not ask all this. Yes, 100%. But just whatever is there, we just know and go. Next one, import of goods as gift with payment of full applicable duties is allowed. Pay the duties, bring it inside. We don't have a problem. Meaning import duty has to be paid. You can bring it in two ways. Import through passenger baggage is also allowed. What is this passenger baggage? I hope you guys are done with your customs. There is something called as accompanied baggage, unaccompanied baggage. Accompanied baggage means, people, generally imagine whenever you are traveling, the luggage what you carry with you is called as accompanied baggage. That is only called as passenger baggage. Other one is called as unaccompanied baggage. Imagine the other luggage where it goes. That is called as unaccompanied baggage. They are telling you the gift items, whatever we just discussed, can also be brought in by you physically also. Meaning when you are traveling, you can bring it along with you as well. That is called as passenger baggage. That is what they are telling you here. Import through passenger baggage. Can I do it? Yes, provided these things are to be satisfied. What is that? First one, bona fide household goods and personal effects. Personal effects is your items which personally you guys carry, souvenirs and things like that, may be imported as part of passenger baggage as per limits, terms and conditions that is prescribed by Ministry of Finance. So you can carry along with you also anything, that is absolutely fine, provided, that is gifts you can carry, you can import through passenger baggage, provided you need to follow your customs rules. If I'm not wrong, people, it clearly says, right, imagine if you are bringing in this wine bottles, you cannot bring in more than 2 wine bottles, something like that, rules and all are there. That is what they are telling you. Prescribe to that limits, refer to that limits, up to that limits you can bring. Yes, sir. Okay, next one. Samples of such items that are otherwise freely importable under FTP may also be imported as part of passenger baggage. Meaning, sir, whatever we saw here, samples can be imported, right? Whatever the samples you can import, that you can bring it as baggage also. It is allowed. Okay. Exporters coming from abroad are also allowed to import drawings, patterns, labels, price tags, buttons, belts, trimming and embellishments required for export. What is this, sir? Now imagine, sir, I am from India. I am generally an exporter. I went to a foreign country to establish some deal. When I am coming back from that country, I saw some products available there which will be useful for my trade. Now whenever I come back to India, after coming back I'll do this business again, I'll sell it, right? Now these things are useful for me. What is that? Sir, any labels, price tags. So it is available outside. Now it is useful for my trade. Can I bring it back? Yes, you can bring back. So an exporter generally from India, he is going abroad. When he is coming back, he can bring these things along with him. It is allowed. Next one, any item including samples or prototypes of items whose import policy is restricted or prohibited or it is reserved for STEs are not permitted as part of passenger baggage except with a valid authorization or permission issued by DGFT. Meaning, sir, you can bring in everything except those items. Which one? If there is any items which is restricted, prohibited or reserved specifically for STE, if you are importing that as a passenger baggage, you can do it only after taking DGFT approval. Without that, not possible. Yes. Again, I am telling you, okay, it's fine. Re-import of goods repaired abroad. Re-import of goods repaired abroad. Now, what do you mean by that, sir? Re-import means what, people? Initially, you had imported. You have sent it back for something. Again, you are getting it back. Is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. When will you do that? Technically think, people. Now, for example, let us imagine we brought in some plant and machinery. The plant and machinery was imported. Let us imagine we are printing that book. That is what we want to do, the manufacturing of books. We wanted that huge plant and machinery. So, we imported that plant and machinery from abroad. Yes. Now, sir, once we got it here, now there are some defects in this. This has to be repaired. Now, obviously, we have imported it. The service center will be there only. If it is here, well and good. What if it's not here? So, what they are telling you, you can send it back. Once it is repaired, you can again re-import it back to India. It is allowed. Capital goods, any equipment, components, parts, accessories, whether imported or indigenous, meaning whether you took it from abroad, you brought it from abroad, or you locally took it. So, you took it here only or you took it locally, anything, whether you brought it from abroad or locally, except those restricted under ITC. If there is any restriction, then that's a different story. May be sent abroad for repair, testing, quality improvement or upgradation or standardization of technology. So, it is done and it can be re-imported without any authorization. You need not take any approval of any authorities for this. Yes? Okay. Next one, import of goods used in projects abroad. What is this, sir? Now imagine, sir, I'm a construction company. I got a very good project abroad to build a certain, probably let us take for example, we are building good metros in this country. So we got an offer from one of the, let us take for example from Africa, we got an offer to build a metro there. Now imagine, people, when we go abroad, the project will be, say for example, for a certain time, 4 years or 3 years, 5 years, as the case may be. Now after this 4 years, the project is complete. But when we are working there, people, don't you think we would have invested in certain machineries? Big machineries. Now the project is completed there. Now what can I do with that particular machineries? They are telling you, after the completion of any contract abroad, you are free to get those machineries back to India, provided they have been used there at least for a period of 1 year. So in our case, 4 years. Yes, after that, whatever the goods you used there, you can easily get it back to India. You need not take any approvals for this. Simple. Read. Project contractors, after completion of projects abroad, may import without an authorization goods including capital goods used in the project, provided they have been used for at least 1 year. Simple. Okay. Next one, sir, import of prototypes. Prototypes means what, people? Working models, meaning what do you say? Now imagine I want to bring in some big machinery. Before I bring in that machinery, I want to see how this actually looks and how this actually performs. So that is called as a prototype. Now can I bring that prototype, sir? Yes, people, it is allowed, provided you need to pay the duty associated with it. Whatever is the import duty you need to pay. Of course, there is no authorization required, provided it has to be imported by the actual user, industrial, meaning, people, it has to be used for a commercial establishment. So again I say, prototype means what, people? A working model. You need to test it how it is going to work for you, that machinery. Can I bring it? Yes, you can bring it. On payment of duty, you can bring it. Second thing is, people, you can bring it without any approval. Third thing, it can be imported only by a person called actual user industrial. Yes, sir. Okay. Next one, sir. Import policy for second hand goods. This you can absolutely ignore, people. Don't even bother. Absolutely ignore it. Yes. Okay. Next one, sir. Other provisions related to imports. Import under lease financing. Lease financing will be seeing a little while later. That time I'll tell you what it is. Execution of legal undertaking or bank guarantee. Yesterday only I told you, people, whenever you are importing any product without paying any duty, there are certain things you may be expected to give it to the customs authorities. That is only called as a letter of undertaking or legal undertaking, bank guarantee, or it is also called as customs bond. It can be legal undertaking, bank guarantee, or customs bond. Now what is this, people? I am allowing you to bring in the goods without paying any duty. I am allowing you to do it. You are bringing the goods also. But of course, we have seen till now that anytime you bring in the goods, it always comes with an obligation that is called as export obligation. Now what if you do not meet that export obligation? So obviously, for you to make sure you meet the export obligation, they have put a condition. The condition is that you need to give a written statement, written declaration that no matter what, sir, I will do it. If you do not do it, based on this document, I can hold you liable. Yes, sir. Like how, sir? Now say for example, there is one document you can see here. It's called as bank guarantee. What is bank guarantee? One bank has to support you, saying that if this person does not fulfill that obligation, instead of this person, I will give the money on his behalf. Meaning, people, imagine, if the export obligation is not met under EPCG, if at all he is not meeting it, I will pay that whatever is the amount that has to be paid, exempted, whatever import duty was exempted, I will pay that. Bank has to give a guarantee. That is called bank guarantee. Yes, customs bond means also same thing. You are giving an undertaking to the customs authorities that I will do it, sir. If not, you can hold me liable. That is what they are telling you. Execution of legal undertaking or bank guarantee. Private or public bonded warehouses for imports. Now what is this, people? Generally, okay. Generally, all this you will see in your customs and all that, but they have added, I am just telling you. What are the people? Imagine, people, a ship reaches your country. You have imported something, so the ship reaches your country. Okay, so it reached India. Now, obviously, people, once it reaches, first thing, it may so happen that once the product reaches, the ship reaches, you might not have made the necessary arrangements yet. Now say for example, from the harbor to your factory, you would need a lorry. The lorry has not yet reached. Second thing, people, the customs authorities want to verify these documents, verify these particular goods you have imported. So until all this happen, what happens, people? Whenever a product is imported, the product undergoes generally 2 clearances. Meaning, sir, you need to clear the goods 2 times. What is it called? First thing, if everything is ready, we don't have a problem. You come directly, you take it to the factory. That is only called as DTA clearance, meaning you are taking it to your factory. If that is not the case, people, or it is also called as a clearance for consumption. If that is not the case, what you need to do, once the goods reaches the harbor, you need to clear it the first time and you can go and keep it now in authorized warehouses. Certain things are provided by the authorities only. Certain things are provided by private people after taking licenses. So there are 2 types. One is called private bonded warehouses. Next one is called as public warehouses. So you can clear the documents, you can clear the goods and you can store it in the warehouse until the time your lorry reaches or until the time the products are cleared, until whatever the documentation you need to do, until everything is done. You can keep your goods in this warehouse. This is called first clearance. Once everything is done, your lorry has reached. Now you are ready to take it to your factory. Now the second clearance will come. The second clearance is called as clearance for consumption. Or it is also called as DTA clearance. From warehouse you are going to take it to your factory. That's what is the process of your import. That's how it happens in India. It's clear? That's what they have given here. Private or public wanted warehouses for imports. Private or public warehouses may be set up in DTA. A person may import goods except prohibited items, ammunition, all these, and warehouse them in such bonded warehouses. So guns and all cannot be kept, anything else can be kept in warehouse. Such goods may be cleared for home consumption in accordance with provisions of FTP against authorization wherever required. Custom duties as applicable should be paid at the time of clearance. So when you're taking the goods from the warehouse to your factory, you need to make sure you pay everything and you clear everything, and then you can take it to your home. That's all. Clear? Yes, sir. Clearance of the warehouse goods shall be, whatever the procedure, it shall be as per Customs Act. Everything comes here indirect tax. Okay. Sale on high seas. Now what do you mean by sale on high seas, people? Again, not a so important topic, but in short I'll tell you. Now imagine whenever the goods are traveling on the boat, on the vessel, it has not yet reached the destination. Imagine the destination is here. It has not yet reached the destination. And here people, if at all there is a seller, if a seller people sells the goods when the goods are in transit, meaning when they are in the ocean, when they are still going, it is on the way. There people, if the ownership changes, that is called as sale on high seas. High sea means people when the product is on ocean. When the goods are in the ocean, people, when the product is cleared, and that is called as people, it's called as sale on high seas. So a seller will transfer the ownership when the goods are on this particular transit. That is, it is on the way. Clear? Yes, sir. This is called as sale on high seas. Yes. Okay. Next one, merchanting trade. We saw merchanting trade basically where a sale done, you are importing or exporting without it touching any Indian border. That is called as merchanting trade. So such imports can also be done. Clear? Done? Yes. That's your import. Not so important, people. I am telling, it's okay. Don't pay too much of attention and all. It's okay. The next one is people, the generic rules with regards to exports. Okay, what does it say? Free exports. All goods may be exported without any restriction. Generally, people, you can export any goods without any restriction, except to the extent that such exports are regulated by ITC, HS, or any other provision of FTP or any other law for the time being in force. DGFT may, however, specify through a public notice such terms and conditions according to which any goods not included in ITC may be exported without an authorization. Meaning, people, generally it is free. We will not stop it. However, if there is any restriction or prohibition or any other law says you cannot do it, you cannot do it. Any other law means, people, let us take for example, according to our narcotic drugs, according to that act we cannot export these things. So if it is restricted under some other act, that is also cannot be exported. Clear? Next ones are benefits for supporting manufacturer. Okay, there is something called as supporting manufacturer. Okay. Okay, people, I'll be explaining three terms here. Listen carefully. One is called as supporting manufacturer. Next one is called as merchant exporter. The next one is called as third party exporter. Ayyo. Next one is called as third party exporter. Yes, sir. So there are three people. Okay. is the other thing? Okay. So sir, there are three types of people. One is called as supporting manufacturer, next one is called as merchant exporter, next one is called as third party exporter. Now what do you mean by this? Let us take for example first what is supporting manufacturer and what is merchant exporter. Now people, this merchant exporter, he has a very good leads abroad. So I know what is the market, where it is. Now for example, let us imagine this way. I know where is a demand for this notebooks. I know everything outside. I have, I have network there. I know everything outside. Now what I will do people, I will use my brand, but I do not know how to manufacture this product. Imagine in my case, I do not know how to manufacture this books for that price and for that quality. So what I will do, I will take up the order in my name, in my brand, but the manufacturing I will outsource it to. This is only called as jobbing, subcontracting, whatever you guys can call it. I will take up the product, I will take up the offer, the project will be taken up by me. I will give the contract to a supporting manufacturer. This person just manufactures the product. So he gives me the book. The book will be forwarded back to me. I will brand it in my name and I am going to sell it. Now this is called as what people supporting manufacturer, the person who does the actual work in this particular export. Merchant exporter is a person under whose brand everything is sold. Now this is called as supporting manufacturer, next one is called as merchant exporter. There is one more person called as third party exporter. This third person, who is he? Sir, third person people, there is a manufacturer. This person manufactures the product end to end and it is in his name only. Manufactures also, brand also in his name only, but he does not have any network outside India. So what does he do? He contacts an agent. The agent is called as third party exporter. Meaning people, the brand will be in your name only, but it will be distributed, sold, and the supply will be done by a third person. That person is called as third party exporter. So there are these three parties. Do not get confused. Clear? Okay. Let us say what they are saying. Benefits for supporting manufacturers. Can you see the word benefits for supporting manufacturers? Even though the sale is done by a merchant exporter, but the person who is doing it in fact is supporting manufacturer. That's the reason people, even he can also import raw materials, even he can also import plant and machinery under EPCG scheme. He is allowed, he is authorized to do it because his products only are end of the day exported, right? So it is allowed. That is what they are telling you. But the only thing is that whenever the goods are sold, imagine merchant exporter is selling the goods. Whenever you are selling the goods, people, on all the invoices, on the shipping bills, bill of export, whatever you guys give, in all those places, you guys clearly have to mention this is the name of the manufacturer, this is the name of the exporter, that is a merchant exporter. If both their names are given, even both of them can avail whatever are the benefits of this particular FTP policy. Clear? See, for any benefit to accrue to the supporting manufacturer, the names of both supporting manufacturer as well as merchant exporter must be figured in the consent document, that is tax, shipping bill, bill of export, etc. Third party exports shall be allowed under FTP. In such case, export documents such as shipping bill shall indicate name of both manufacturing exporter. See, here they have not used the word supporting manufacturer. They have used the word manufacturing exporter or manufacturer and third party exporter because everything is done by him only. So, or export realization forms wherever applicable. So, same thing. Even here also you need to mention both their names. Again, they will get both the benefits. Okay. Next one, export of specific categories. Same the way you guys imported samples. Can I export it? Yes. Export of samples, bona fide trade and technical samples are freely exportable. We don't have any problem without any limit. Absolutely fine. Okay. Export of gifts. Import of gifts generally was prohibited except those things. Correct? Sir, here goods including edible items value not exceeding rupees 5 lakh per licensing year may be exported as a gift. However, items mentioned as restricted for exports shall not be exported as gift without an authorization. Generally, sir, if you want to give anything as a gift in a year, you can give up to 5 lakh rupees it seems. But whatever is written as restricted, you cannot do it in a licensing year. Licensing year is nothing but financial year. Up to 5 lakh you can do it. Okay. Export of passenger baggage. Passenger baggage, people, is nothing but same thing, right? Import means when you're coming. Export means when you're going. With you can take. Absolutely allowed. Bona fide personal baggage may be exported either along with the passenger, accompanied baggage, or unaccompanied baggage, meaning that goes as a luggage. It can be done within 1 year before or after passenger's departure from India. So, unaccompanied baggage can be done 1 year before you travel or 1 year after you travel also, it seems. Yes. However, items mentioned as restricted, same thing, cannot be done without authorization. Clear? Okay. Samples of such items otherwise freely exportable of passenger without an authorization. Same thing. Even samples also can be done without an authorization. Sir, next one, people, import for export. Meaning, people, you are importing certain products. Why are you importing? Because you are importing to export it. So, import for exports. You are not taking it locally. In this case, what is the thing you need to keep in mind? Goods imported may be exported in same or substantially the same form. Meaning, you take it, you sell it. It is called merchant trade. Substantially the same form means you are bringing something, but you are making some changes and you are selling it. The best example I can give you, say for example, gold. I bring in gold, a raw form of gold. Let us take for example gold biscuits. I press them into gold coins and I sell it abroad. Substantially the same form. It's gold only, but I've added some value to it. Of course, jewelry, everything can come, but I'm just giving an example. Yes. Without an authorization can be done. Absolutely fine. Provided the item to be imported or exported is not in the restricted list. You can do it. Goods including capital goods, both new and second hand may be imported for export. So same thing, people. Even capital goods also can be imported. You can export it to other countries. Absolutely. You can take benefit. Merchant trade, nothing but. Provided you satisfy this, what? Importer clears goods under customs bond. I told you. What is customs bond? I accept to whatever the conditions. Goods should be freely exportable, meaning it should not be under restricted, prohibited or STE list. If that is the case, you cannot do it. Export is against freely convertible currency. Export is against freely convertible currency, meaning I am selling it, I am getting foreign currency inside India. Goods in B above will include restricted goods for import except prohibited items. That's okay. Capital goods which are freely importable and freely exportable may be imported for export on execution of LUT, BG, customs. That is what I told you. Anything which is freely importable, you need to bring it only with the bond. That is what we saw, legal undertaking, bank guarantee or customs bond. Notwithstanding the above, goods which are freely importable may be re-exported except items as prohibited or SCOMET list of exports. In same or substantial, even though such goods are under restricted list for export, subject to the following condition. Meaning what, sir? Notwithstanding the above, goods which are freely importable may be re-exported except items in prohibited or SCOMET list of exports. So, prohibited items and SCOMET list of exports cannot be done. You cannot do this. Import and export not possible. Whether in same or substantially the same form. Even though such goods are under restricted list for such export, subject to the following condition. Meaning with, sir, if it is restricted list, sir, you can do it, it seems, provided the goods should not be of Indian origin. Obviously, you are importing or exporting. So, even if it is under restricted list, you can do it. Second one, goods imported shall be kept in bonded warehouse. So, it should be with customs. They have to have a supervision on it. Third one, goods to be exported have never been cleared for home consumption. It should not have taken to the home. It should be in the warehouse only. Fourth one, export of goods will be subject to section 69 of Customs Act. Meaning you have to comply with Customs Act. Yes, so generally what they are saying you, whenever you're doing the goods, whenever you're exporting it, if you're importing and exporting it, in such cases, people generally they are telling you if it is prohibited as well as if it is comet list, these things cannot be imported, exported. Restricted items can be done provided these conditions are satisfied. Clear? Okay. Okay, next one. Goods imported against payment in freely convertible currency would be permitted to export only against payment in freely convertible currency. This people, probably in the next topic, I'll tell you what is the more relevance and weightage of it. In recent times, people, India has allowed to receive payments and to make payments in Indian rupees with certain countries. When I am doing the topic, I'll tell you. So, you can export also. Generally, till now I have told you, if you are exporting, you need to take dollars. We need to increase our foreign reserves. But now we are allowing to receive the money even in rupees with certain countries. We will see when we are doing that. So, but this condition of receiving rupees is not applicable. Whenever you imported the product, you would have paid in foreign currency. If you have paid in foreign currency, then you cannot pay in Indian rupee. You also have to receive the money when you are exporting also in foreign currency only. That's what is the condition. Goods imported against payment in freely convertible currencies should also be collected. When you are exporting, you also have to correct freely convertible currency only. Yes. Export of such goods to notified countries, presently only Iran, would be permitted against payment in Indian rupees subject to minimum 15% of value addition. So, see, notified country, you are free to sell your goods to this country provided the value addition you need to do is 15%. You imported 100 rupees worth, you have to sell it at least at 115 rupees and you can realize this in rupees, it is allowed. Yes, sir. However, re-export of food, medicine, medical equipment, to Iran only can be done without minimum value addition. So, any products you sell to Iran, you can realize the money in Indian rupees provided there should be a minimum value addition of 15%. If it is food, medicine and medical equipment, it can be done without doing minimum value addition. Still you can really realize money in Indian rupees only, it's allowed. Clear? Exports under this dispensation as at 1E. What was 1E? 1E. This was 1E. What? Notwithstanding the above goods which are freely importable may be re-exported except items. So, meaning sir, if it is freely importable and if it is restricted items, you satisfied all this condition. Correct? And sir, there is one more thing. What? Sir, 2ABC. What is 2? This is 2. This ABC. Meaning people, the first one was freely convertible currency. Meaning you imported, you just exported. Next one, you imported and given to Iran. Value addition 15%. And C, that food and all with no minimum value addition. They are telling you, exports under these things shall not be eligible for any export incentives. You cannot ask for any incentives and all. Earlier this used to be there people, now it is almost like ignorable because incentives and all is no longer there. I told you MEIS, SEIS and all is removed. So it's not much relevant. Export of replacement goods. What is replacement goods, people? Goods or parts thereof on being exported and found defective. Sir, I gave a plant and machinery to abroad. There is a defect in that, sir. They gave it back to me, sir. Can I send it back? Yes, you can send it back. Absolutely no problem. They are telling you if there is any defect or damage in the products you have sent, it may be imported for replacement free of charge by the exporter in accordance with the relevant rules. And such goods shall be allowed for export by customs authorities provided that replacement goods are not under restricted or SCOMET list. So if it is restricted or SCOMET list, people, then you need to do it only after authorization. If it is not under restricted or authorization list, whatever the goods you have sold, if there is defect in that, if the buyer is telling there is a defect, you can bring it back, you can again re-export it, it's absolutely fine. You are just replacing it, it's absolutely fine. Export of repaired goods, same thing, people. no authorization required. He has said there is a defect, you're bringing it back, you're repairing it, you can send it back, absolutely allowed. No authorization required. Export of spares. Spares means what, people? Spares means there is a main plant and machinery you have purchased. Along with that, we will be generally giving some supporting kits, right? Now, say for example, there is printer. The plant and machinery they ordered for us printer. Along with that, people, we are giving that ink cartridges. Now, that will come as spares. Any supporting equipment comes as spares. They are telling you the main equipment can also be sent. You are allowed. Along with that, people, you can also send spares, meaning supporting equipment also. You can send it if you want with the equipment only, or first you can send the equipment and there can be something called as warranty period, meaning say 1 year. Within that time also you can send this. That is also allowed. That is called export of spares. Next one, re-export of imported goods found defective and unsuitable for use. Import goods found defective after customs clearance are not found as per specifications requirement, may be re-exported back as per customs. I imported it, plant and machinery, it's not working, I can export it back, I don't have a problem. Private bonded warehouses for exports. I told you, the private bonded warehouses and all. You can bring them. Private bonded warehouse exclusively for exports may be set up in DTA. Such warehouses shall be entitled to procure goods from domestic manufacturers for manufacturing and other operations according to. Okay, what is it, sir? It's nothing but, people. Whatever the goods I am bringing into India, import, I can export it, people, without doing customs clearance. I can just keep it in the warehouses. I can keep it there. Once the purpose is achieved, I can send it back to the outside country. I can export it without doing a customs clearance, meaning clearance for consumption. I can do it, it's allowed. Clear, Ram? Yes, Ram? So this is your imports and exports. Not so important. Even if you want, you can absolutely skip it also, it's absolutely fine. Yeah. Okay. Just give me a second. Yes, people. So the next topic, people, this is actually some change they have made in FTP policy. This was again a highlight of FTP policy also. Now what is it, sir? Payment and receipts on imports or exports. Now what is that? Whenever you guys are importing or whenever you are exporting, obviously you need to make the payments. Now when you are making the payments, how can you make these payments? What do you mean by how, sir? You need to make money, correct? But which denomination, which currency will you make the payments? So regarding that, people, there is some new amendments as such that has come in. I don't know whether they are going to ask questions from this or not. But probably eventually this could have been an important question, but I don't think immediately for your attempt this can be so important. But just know and go. Yes. Okay. Now, sir. Okay, simple people. Now, whenever imagine I'm exporting or I'm importing. Now, what are the different types of currencies I can receive the money in? Now, that is what they're telling you. Denomination of export contracts. Meaning, people, all export contracts. I'm making exports. Now, how can I receive money? That's what they're telling you. Now, sir, I'll tell you people, there are three types you can receive the money in. You can receive the money in three denominations. You can receive the money in three denominations. Now, what are those denominations? Now, imagine, sir, there is a person from India. This person is exporting the goods and this person is making the payments. Now, whenever you need to make the payments, people, now I can collect the money they are telling. I can receive the money in three denominations. The first denomination as people is called as your foreign currency. You can receive the denomination in foreign currency. According to the global, statistics, people, worldwide, all the exports will be settled in one currency, people, and that currency is dollars. That's the reason we call it as a vehicle currency, freely convertible currency. So, around 80% of the contracts, they will be settled in dollars. Around 80% of the contracts worldwide are settled in terms of dollars. Now, because of this, what has happened, people, over a period of time, the value for dollars, the demand for dollars has already, always been increasing because we are creating that, right? Whenever there is a foreign trade, and imagine this is happening globally, not only in India. Everyone needs dollars. So, because of that, this currency has reached the place where it has constant demand. So, to avoid that, people, RBI has come up with a new initiative of receiving money in Indian currency only. Why to create demand for other currencies when we can create demand for our own currency? When can we create demand for our own currency? When we allow people to make payments in our currency. So now imagine I'll make an export. I'm telling the outsider you can make the payment in my currency only. If I have to give him this benefit, people, obviously he should have the availability of my currency. So for that we have done some steps, we have taken some initiatives. What is that we will see. So now we are accepting money in Indian currency also. There is third currency, people. This third currency is called as ACU dollar. Now what is ACU dollar now? I'll tell you when we are doing that. Yes sir. Or else we'll do it now on here. Okay, in short I'll tell you, not required also. ACU stands for, people, Asian Clearing Unit. Yes sir. ACU stands for Asian Clearing Union. Asian Clearing Union. Now what is this Asian Clearing Union, sir? You can imagine like this, people, this is a union. It is like a treaty. It's an agreement that was formed between Asian countries. Not everyone is party to it, but yes, most of them are party to it. This was formed almost in the year 1974. Now what was the main intention? Again the same thing. Why do we have to create demand for dollars unnecessarily? Why can't we act together as a continent? So what did the Asian continent do, people? Whoever wants to become a member to this union, that is called Asian Clearing Union, we will create our own currency, and that own currency they created is called as ACU dollar. Now ACU dollar is nothing but, people, now imagine whoever are the members to this ACU union. Let us take for example, India is a member, Maldives recently joined 2009, Pakistan is a member, Bangladesh is a member, Sri Lanka is a member. So all these are members to this ACU union. Now let us take for example, I export some goods to Maldives. Now the Maldives person, whoever is the importer, the buyer there will pay me in people something called as ACU dollar. Instead of using the actual dollars, we have created our own currency that is called as ACU dollar. In the same way, Maldives could have exported something, we should make some payments. We have imported, we also should have made some payments. So people periodically there will be netting done. Netting means people, how much my country should pay you, how much your country should pay me. And this will be done only amongst all the Asian countries. So periodically it will be settled and we will maintain this as reserves. That is called as ACU dollar reserves. This is only prevalent amongst these member countries. This is a third way where you can receive the payments. So these are the three currencies. Understood? Yes. Okay. Let us see what it is. Okay, payments. Denomination of export contracts. All export contracts and invoices, meaning your bill, shall be denominated either in freely convertible currencies or even in Indian rupees. But export proceeds shall be realized in freely convertible currency. Invoice can be in both items, but the money should be realized in freely convertible currency only items. However, export proceeds against specific exports may also be realized in rupees. We saw example people. What? Iran, we saw above, no? Minimum value addition 15%. The second country with whom we have entered this contract, the country is called as Russia. Any payments you can receive from Russia. In the same way, Russia to India. This can happen in your own currencies. So, provided it is through a freely, however, export proceeds against specific exports may also be realized in rupees, provided it is through a freely convertible Ostro account of a non-resident bank situated in any country other than a member country of ASU or Nepal or Bhutan. Additionally, rupee payment through Ostro account must be against payment in free foreign currency by buyer in his non-resident bank account. Free foreign exchange remitted by buyer to his non-resident bank on account of this transaction would be taken as export realization under export promotion schemes. Now what is this, sir? Something and all is there, no sir? Why, sir, they will make it so complicated? Why, sir?
Okay, now sir,
Okay, so sir, there are something people you need to know here. It's called as two accounts. If you guys do not understand, absolutely forget it. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, there are two types of accounts, people. One is called as Ostro account. Ostro means people yours. There is one more thing called as Nostro account. Nostro means people ours. There are two types of accounts. One is called as Ostro. Ostro means yours. Nostro means ours. Again, I am telling you, it's okay. Even if you do not understand, it's okay. They will not ask you. But just to understand, I am telling you. Now, I told you there is this dollar inflation and all. So, we wanted to avoid that dollar inflation. So, what did RBI do? RBI said, it's okay. Let us start accepting payments in our own currency. So that even the, the demand for rupee might also go up. So to achieve that, people, they came up with something called as Ostro Nostro account. It is only between us, sir? No, it is even globally accepted as well. Now what do you mean by that? You can imagine this way, people. Imagine there is in India, imagine there is a bank. Let us take for example, actually the bank is a different one, but to be easier, let us take our usual bank. Let us take for example ICICI Bank. Even abroad, people, let us take abroad, there is one more bank called as Standard Chartered Bank. Imagine. So, there is a person in our country, there is a person in other country as well. Now, there is this ICICI Bank and there is this Standard Chartered Bank. They are two different banks. Now, to achieve this payment in rupees, what we do, people, let us take for example, this person, whoever is the buyer outside, to whom we are exporting, he has a bank account in Standard Chartered Bank. He has a bank account in Standard Chartered Bank. Now, what will Standard Chartered Bank do, people? Standard Chartered Bank only. I am not talking about the buyer. The Standard Chartered Bank will come to India. They will open one bank account with ICICI Bank. A bank only will open a bank account with ICICI Bank. And that account for us, for Indians, is called as Ostro account. Meaning, people, ICICI Bank will refer to Standard Chartered because both are banks. No. So, what will ICICI Bank say? You have opened one account with us, Noda. So, we will give a name to that. That name is called as Special Ostro account. Ostro account means we will refer to it as your account. The same account, Standard Chartered Bank will say it is our account. It is Nostro account. Meaning, it's one account only. From both their point of view, it will take two different words. From Indians' point of view, this account is called as Ostro account. From Standard Chartered Bank of point of view, it will be called as Nostro account. Now, what will happen? Let us take, for example, people, this person, whoever is abroad, now let us imagine these people have made two things. One, these people can also export. Obviously, Russia, let us imagine this is Russia. We have agreement with Russia only. Russia is the maximum exporter of crude oil for us. We import the maximum crude oil from Russia only. We need to make payments to that? Obviously, no. So, in the same way, sir, we are also importing certain materials to Russia as well. Even they buy so many things from us. So, sir, indirectly, whenever they are exporting, they need to get the money. Whenever they are importing, they need to make the payments. Correct? Yes, sir. So, what we have done, people, we have opened one account in our ICICI Bank in India for the Standard Chartered Bank coming from Russia. Now, what happens in this Ostro account? Let us imagine, people, if at all Russia has made any exports, they have made some exports, they have given us, we need to make the payment. People, we will make the payment in rupees. Imagine this person imported this crude oil. He will go to ICICI Bank. He will just deposit Indian rupees into the Ostro account of Standard Chartered Bank. Till today, what used to happen? We used to give dollars directly here. Now, what will happen? Instead of having all these people, the Standard Chartered Bank, now whatever is the account they maintain in India, to that account, people, we will directly go and deposit rupees. Sir, but how is this person getting money? In the same way, people, imagine if we have to receive anything from Russia. In Russia, even ICICI Bank also will open one account. Yes, sir. Now, that will be called as Nostro account for ICICI. Standard Chartered Bank will call that account as your Ostro account. Understood? This can be achieved in both the ways. Now, Standard Chartered Bank will clear the money in their currency for this particular exporter. And this is called netting. Now, what happens? Okay, see here. Now, whatever is the exports, we go and deposit the rupees here. Now, whatever are the imports, Russians have taken, no, they need to make the payment, no. People, the money will be adjusted from this Ostro account. So, income also will go to that account only. Payment will be debited from that only. So, income will credit, payment will debit. So, an account maintained in the other country of your country's bank is called as, people, Ostro Nostro. Understood? Clear? That is what they are telling. Read here. If you are not understanding, it's okay. They will pakka promise on it. They will not ask you what is Ostro Nostro. First of all, it is not there, but they have used the word. That's the reason I explained. Export proceeds against specific exports, meaning not everything, because it is only an agreement with certain people. may also be realized in rupees. You can take it in rupees only, provided it is through a freely convertible escrow account of a non-resident bank. Non-resident bank. So Standard Chartered Bank has a bank account. No. Understood? Yes, sir. Yes. So I've just given you extra again. Contracts, this is through Asian Clearing Union. I told you that ACU dollar. That's with ACU dollar. So three things. Understood? Okay. Invoicing, payments and settlement of exports and imports is also permissible in INR. INR shall takes place through special rupee escrow account. So import, export, both. Understood? Yes, sir. Okay. Indian importers undertaking imports through this mechanism shall make payment in INR, which shall be credited into special escrow account. Indian importers, so meaning people, I am importing crude oil. I need to make a credit, I need to make a payment in INR only, but where? In special escrow account. Indian exporters undertaking export of goods and service through this mechanism shall be paid the export proceeds in INR from the balance in the designated special escrow account. So same account. Understood? It will be credited as well as debited. Clear? Yes, Pakkana. Okay. Sir, next one's a simple thing. Non-realization of export proceeds. Sir, imagine, sir, in generally, I have sold everything, sir, but I have not able to realize the money. Then what will happen? Simple people, whatever are the benefits given to you, that has to be returned back. Whatever are the authorizations, whatever are the DFIAs, whatever are the incentives, benefits, everything has to be returned back. However, sir, I was not able to realize, not because of me, sir, because of some unforeseen events. Imagine people, I exported products to now this Israel and all. Imagine. Sir, now what happened, sir? There was a huge war. Because of that, I could not realize. In such cases, people, you need to write a request to RBI. Sir, could you please write off those benefits given to me? RBI people, based on scenario case to case basis, RBI will write off whatever are the payments that you need to receive. In case exporter is unable to realize the export proceeds for reason beyond his control, force majeure is act of God. He may approach RBI for writing off the unrealized amount. Writing off is like, it will be treated as an write off means what? You will just take it off from your books. The payment realized through insurance cover would be eligible for benefits under FTP. Meaning, sir, export obligation means what, people? Export obligation means they are clearly telling me I need to realize so much of foreign currency. Correct? Yes. Now, people, it may so happen that times, now imagine whenever I am sending the goods, imagine I have taken EPCG scheme. I have manufactured the goods. I am exporting it now. It is on the ship. Suddenly, people, the ship is sunk. It broke, it sunk. All my goods are done. Now, how can I achieve export obligation? Obviously, people, whatever are the goods that will be going through the ship route, everything will be, insurance will be taken on it. Correct? Yes, sir. Yes, sir, insurance will be taken. Now, people, whenever you get insurance amount, obviously you did not make a sale here, but you are getting insurance amount. They are telling you that insurance amount can be considered as a eligible thing for considering the benefits of FTP. When I am considering this export obligation, that money can be considered as a valid realization. Now, sir, who will give all these facilities, sir? There are people who give these facilities. Now, for example, you would have studied something called as a factor. What is factor? Imagine if someone, you have made a payment, you have made a sale. You need to receive a payment. On behalf of you, if you appoint someone else to receive the payments, they are called as factors. I would have told you when you are doing NBFC factor. If I make a payment, indirectly, in short, if I have to do something like Gunda, if I make a if I sell a goods and there is a person who is not paying me this money for it, I will give this entire right to collect the money from you. I will give it to a third party. That person will come and collect the money from you. Now, such people who are giving this facility to you in the global level, insurance facilities, factor facilities, guarantee facilities, if someone is giving all these facilities to you, We call them as export credit agencies. Export credit agencies. Yes, sir. Two export credit agencies which I can tell you. One is called Exim Bank, Export Import Bank. Yes, sir. They do this facility. They give you this insurance cover. They give you this guarantee facility. The next company that has been established is, it's called Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India Limited. ECGC, Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India Limited. So these two people are involved in doing these facilities. They give you insurance coverage. They give you indemnity. Indemnity is what? If you lose something, they will give you the money for it. Imagine if you made a credit sale. Imagine the buyer becomes insolvent. If you have taken the policies here, they will give you this benefit. Even if the buyer becomes insolvent, they'll make the payment. Such people doing it is called as export credit agencies. Understood? Yes, sir. Okay. So done. I'll end this thing here. You can okay. Yes. Export. Okay. EOUs, let us record it as a different thing. People, once you are seeing EOU, people, I've categorized everything clearly as 1, 2, 3 and all. I would have categorized 1, 2 and 3. Whatever is written here in the material, follow that. And explanation can be going, probably I'll be explaining 1 and next I'll be explaining 4 or 5. That's absolutely fine. But when you're reading, just when I'm explaining a topic, just go through the number, see that topic and just read it from that. Yes, but I've clearly, what do you say, arranged it according to the order. When I'm, when you're seeing it, it might not be in the order, but when you're reading it, just open that particular topic and read it. Clear, all of you? Yes. Okay.
Sir, the next one is called as, know the full forms now only. After that, I'll be using only shortcuts. Sir, export oriented units, EOU. Next one, electronic hardware technology park, EHTP. Software technology park, STP. Biotechnology park, BTP. Yes, sir. Now, what are these? People, now, sir, India, we want to promote export. That is our main intention. Okay, we are promoting export also. Now, sir, every time I have to go get advance authorization. Every time you will give me this MEIS, SCIS. You are exporting, you are helping us. I understand everything, sir, but I can't do this every day. I can't do this every year. Yeah, I will only dedicate myself. My sole life is only for exports. Do you have any scheme for me? I will not at all talk to local, sir. Local people, I will not talk to them. Only export, only foreign. I don't want anything else in my life. Do you have any scheme for me? Yes, I have a scheme for you. That is only your EOU, your STP, EHTP, BTP. Sir, what is this? People, it is a unit. It is a unit in India. All this, everything, depending upon what you are doing. STP, software tech park. If I'm talking about BTP, biotech park. So whatever you are, based upon that, you are setting up a unit. Okay, I set up a unit in India. And you will not at all talk to your local ears. Meaning what, sir? Whatever sales you make, it has to be, and only it has to be an export. When I say an export, sir, India should cross, sir. Yes, sir. Local sales you cannot make. Local sales you are prohibited, directly prohibited. There are certain exceptions. We'll see what is that exceptions and all. But yes, sir. Now, who are they people? Sir, they concentrate only on exports. They will not do anything else. Such people are called as EOU, STPs, EHTPs, BTPs. End of the day, Nepal is also an export only, no? End of the day, I'll tell you what is the condition. End of the day, you have to earn foreign exchange. That's all. Getting the point? Yes. Okay. So understood the gist of it. Okay. Now, people, what are the benefits these people enjoy? Just like you, under advance authorization, advance, what is the DFIA, where you have to apply to some authority, he will give you some license and you will get some import exemption. The same things for him, but he need not apply for anything. You want to import anything from outside India, import. Zero duty, no approval, no licenses, no authorizations, nothing required. Why, sir? To set up this EOU, STP, BTP, that itself will take certain licenses and approvals. It cannot be set up by anyone. For this, there is a procedure. So already you have taken all these approvals. So why do you have to take one more approval? So it is not required. If you are a unit set up in these places, you can do imports of whatever you want. Sir, can we procure raw materials from India? I'll tell you. Yeah, we'll see. All that we'll see. Whether now there are certain cases where can you take materials from India? Can you give materials to India? Everything is there. Yeah. Now, people, sir, assume my unit is here, somewhere in Karnataka. Yes, sir. Except my place, except my unit, the entire India, sir, this is called as DTA. Apart from my unit, the entire India for me is called as DTA. What is DTA, sir? It is called as domestic tariff area. What is domestic tariff area? Basically your local sales or your local area. That is your entire India. It can be anywhere. So except my EOU, STP, BTPs, EHTPs, anything else in India is DTA for me. That is domestic tariff area. So going forward, if you see the word DTA, that means domestic tariff area. That means India only, nothing else. Is this clear? And we have seen indigenous supplier. Indigenous supplier means your local suppliers. Yes, sir. Okay. Now, so look at the objective. Sir, units undertaking to export their entire 100%. When I say entire means what? 100% production of goods. It can be services also, except permissible sales in DTA. There are certain exceptions we'll be seeing. May be set up under EOU, EHTP scheme, STP scheme or BTP scheme. So one is your export oriented units, electronic hardware technology parks, software technology parks, biotechnology parks. Activities, sir, manufacture of goods. It can be repair, remaking, reconditioning, re-engineering, development. They will definitely not ask you. Yeah, but they can do anything apart from trade. What do you mean by trade? Buy, sell, buy, sell. That you can't do. You have to do some processing. So it can be anything, people. You are doing something, engineering, re-engineering, conditioning, reconditioning, manufacturing, anything you can do, provided you should not trade. When I say trade, I am not telling you should not sell. Trade means what? Buy and sell. You cannot do that. Sir, leasing of capital goods. You just saw purchase, lease, rent. Can I take it from abroad? Possible, just that you need to have a contract. Sir, again I repeat, purchase, you will make a purchase. Import duty not charged. Sir, can I take it on lease? Yes, possible. No charges on it. Again, no taxes, no duty even for lease. Just that you need to have a contract. Contract between the parties. It can be EOU, EHTP, STPs and whoever is the person giving it to you on rent. Yes. Second one. Listen to this carefully. After going home, today only, make a promise and go, you read all this. Yes, unit may sell capital goods, unit may sell capital goods and lease back the same from a NBFC subject to following condition. Sir, what is this? People, not directly, I cannot give this example, but understand the concept. Yeah. Now, what is this? Sir, Kingfisher. Now, when Kingfisher is under loss, sir, he wants money. He has exhausted all his limits. Loans, no one will give, nothing. Everything he has exhausted. Now, he has one option. What is that? Sir, Vijay Mallya has aeroplane. Yes, sir. Vijay Mallya has aeroplane. Sir, now only option he has is that he can sell this and whatever is the money he can get back and he can do business. Correct? Sir, but if I sell, what business will I do? You're telling, yes, I can sell my aircraft and I can get money, I can do business because no one is ready to give me loan. But if I sell this, what business I'll do? So you have an option. What is that? If you are these 4 units, you take whatever your capital goods are. This example directly is not applicable to us. We cannot read it in that way, but to understand the concept, I'm telling you. So whatever your goods are, take it, sell it to the NBFC, non-banking financial company, sell it to them. Now, what will they do with your aircraft? Muthoot Finance, what will he do? Keep your gold in the aircraft. Huh? What will he do? Same thing he asked Kingfisher. What will I do, da Vijay Mallya? You at least will drive to London and all. What will I do? So, Vijay Mallya, our own, our intelligent person, he gave an idea. What is that? You do one thing. You take it. You give me back the money. How much ever is the cost of the aircraft? Assume some 600 crores. You give back the money. Okay. Then what about aircraft? Aircraft also you give it back to me. Huh? How? You give it as rent. And every month I will pay you your rental income, whatever you call it as, your lease money or your rent money. This is only called as sell and lease from NBFC. Getting the point? Your capital goods, if you are from these 4 units, you have an option of sell and lease from NBFCs. Sir, subject to certain conditions. These conditions will not go with our example. Yeah, that is the reason I told you. Just understand the concept. Conditions are different. What is that? First one, you have to get an permission from Deputy or Assistant Commissioner of Customs or Central Excise. For what, sir? For doing the sale and lease back of assets. The goods sold and leased back shall not be removed from the unit's premises. Correct? Our example, will it go here? No, sir. What is this? Now, for example, people, I have a Xerox machine. It should be there only. It should not move. It should not be removed from that unit. That is the meaning of it. So, third one, whoever is the unit, he should be in positive, NFE positive. Whatever your net foreign exchange is, you should always be in positive. Again, that is what I told you. It will not go with our example. Yes, sir. Sir, the fourth one, you should have not violated any law. If these 4 conditions are met, you can do lease and sell and lease back. What is that? First one, approval from Deputy Assistant Commissioner, not be removed from unit's premises, NFE positive, not defaulted or made any contravention. Lease. Simple, all of you. Third one, sir, who can start this EOU, BTP, STP, HTP? Who can start, sir? Anyone can start provided you satisfy these conditions. What are these conditions? They talk about 2. 1, you should have something called as net foreign exchange earnings. Wherever you see NFP, this is the criteria. Yes, sir. NFE. What is this? Very simple, people. If you want to start these 4 units, first thing, you should be in profits. The first condition, you should be in profits. Okay, sir. For how many years, sir? It is cumulative. It is taken for 5 years. Sir, from when? From the day you started, from the commencement of production. You should be in profits for a period of 5 years. Sir, at any given point of time, I am not able to meet that. The authority, that is board of approval, can give you one-time extension of 1 year. They will give you an extension of 1 year. At least in this year, try to meet so that you will be able to meet that 5-year criteria. Is this clear? So who can set up, sir? A person who is having a net foreign exchange always in profits in the cumulative block of 5 years, and if you are not able to meet because of any reason, board of approval can give you an extension of one time, that is 1 year. Is this clear? So sir, whatever you saw there, it will not form part of NFE. Now whatever sales you made there, so here you cannot add it. What is that, sir? Supplying and buying from the same person. If you have made any sales, that sales will not be added here, NFE. Getting the point? So sir, I told you, domestic tariff area, you can make sales. I'll tell you when. If you are making sales, you cannot add it for net foreign exchange. Obviously, right? Whenever you are making sales to your domestic tariff area, you will get rupees. Where will you get forex? Make sense, all of you? Sir, second condition, investment criteria. If you have to start EOU, then your minimum investment has to be 1 crore. That's all. In your plant and machinery, minimum people, 1 crore should be the investment. So sir, you meet these conditions, you can start your EOU.
Applications and approvals. So sir, who can start a EOU, EHTP, BTP and STP, sir? Application for setting up a EOU, export oriented unit. If you want to set it up, it shall be made to units approval committee or board of approval. If you remember your SCZ, the same thing. In the case of units under EHTP or STP, necessary approval or permission shall be granted by officer designated by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and by Interministerial Standing Committee, IMSC. So if you want to set up EHTP or STP, if you want to set up units of EHTP or STP, then you need to take permission of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and by Interministerial Standing Committee. Yes. So people, here there is an amendment. Earlier there was only this, units approval committee and board of approval. Yeah, that's the only thing that was there. Now they have added for each of the unit of different thing, you need to take different approvals. In the case of units under BTP, if you want to set up a park, biotechnology park is basically people where more units will be situated. If you want to set up the park, you need to go to, it will be notified by DGFT on recommendation made by Department of Biotechnology. This is to set up a park. If you want to set up a unit there, if you want to set up a company there, then people, necessary approval or permission under relevant provisions of this chapter will be granted by designated officer of Department of Biotechnology. Who will notify the park? DGFT after recommendation by Department of Biotechnology. Who will give you the approval to set up a unit there? Officer of Department of Biotechnology. Sir, application for conversion, what is that, sir? Now I am a normal unit, sir, who is established in DTA, domestic tariff area. Now, sir, I feel even I also want to, I want all these benefits given to these entities. Can I convert myself into a EOU, EHTP as the case may be? The answer is yes, people. A existing DTA unit can be converted, people. How? The same thing, there is one more thing called as conversion in detail given. Both are same only. It's just a repetition of topics. Existing DTA unit may also apply for conversion, possible. Existing EHTP units may also apply for conversion. Merger, anything is possible. Application for conversion, when is it possible? A unit should have an investment of 50 crore and above in plant and machinery, or you should have had a track record of exporting rupees 50 crore and above annually shall be placed before BOA for a decision. Meaning, people, simple, you can merge also, you can convert also, everything is fine, provided The procedure is that you should have a investment of minimum 50 crore and above in plant and machinery, or your exports track record. You should have at least exported rupees 50 crore and above annually, year, for every year. Yes, people, in such cases, you need to write an application to board of approval. If board of approval is convinced, they will allow you for this conversion. Clear? Okay. Next one, sir. That is conversion. Sir, if all the application you have given is perfect, that is with your unit approval or your BOAs or the biotechnology parks and all, if you have properly filed everything, then they will give you something called as letter of permission or letter of intake, letter of intent or legal undertaking. LOP, LOI issued to EOU, HTP, STP units by concerned authority would be construed as an authorization for all the purposes. So you will get a permission. Unit shall execute a LUT with the development commissioner concerned. Failure to ensure positive NFE or to abide by any of the terms and conditions of LOP, LOI, LUT shall render the unit liable to penal action, cancellation or revocation of LOP, LOI. So basically what is it, sir? Whatever NFEs you saw, people, net foreign exchange thing, if that is not complied with, if you are not able to satisfy that, people, then whatever is the permission given to you, that will be cancelled, it will be revoked, and even certain penal actions can be taken against you. It's clear? Okay. Next one, sir. DTA sale of finished products rejects waste, scrap, remnants and byproducts. Now what is it, sir? Now whatever is a product, sir, I am a EOU. I know for one thing for sure. Why am I a EOU, people? I have promised the government that, sir, whatever are the sales I am going to do only exports. I will not sell anything locally. But now we have a confusion, sir. Is there a way we can sell our products even locally? Can we do it? So yes, people, you can do it. What and all I can sell? You can sell finished products also. Meaning my export obligation might be met. I still have some products. Can I sell it? Yes, possible. You can sell it in India. You need not export it. Next one, rejects. I've sold it, sir. Probably you would have heard, no? This custom rejected goods, you will get it at a very cheap price, especially this textile, clothing industry, shoes and all. The next one, rejects wastage. This iron and all, there is a lot of wastage. Scrap, people. Remnants means remaining, and byproducts. Byproducts means when you are manufacturing one product, whatever you get along with it is called as byproduct. The best example I can give you of is, say for example, whenever you are selling buttermilk, whenever you churn the buttermilk, what you get is also two things. The main product you get is butter. The second byproduct you get is buttermilk. Yes, Sam. So anything, you can sell anything in DTH SIMs, but what is the condition? Simple thing, people. Imagine if I have allowed you to import anything without paying customs duty. You need to pay the customs duty back, whatever was exempted. Third one, because you are selling everything locally, whatever are the local taxes, meaning people GST, excise duty, if any, will be paid back. That's all. Yes, I'll see what it is. Entire production of EOU, EHTP, STP and all shall be generally exported. However, the following are allowed as exceptions. This you can sell it DTA also. So generally you have to sell everything abroad, but there are exceptions. What is that? Units other than gems and jewelry, so gems and jewelry not possible, may sell finished goods manufactured by them. See, finished goods, direct product, which are freely importable, okay, subject to fulfillment of positive NFE. Meaning, people, if you want to sell your finished products, you should have already achieved your positive NFE. Okay. On payment of excise duty, so if any excise duties are there, pay it. Next one, if any GST is to be paid, pay it. Any compensation cess was generally there, people, until 2017 to 2022. This was a cess which was imposed by the center, because when GST was introduced, there was a lot of loss that was to the state governments. There was a lot of loss that happened. So for the 5-year period, central government gave a power for the state governments to get a compensation. That cess is called as compensation cess. Along with that, reversal of duties of customs leviable. Meaning, people, if at all you took anything as inputs and you had availed exemption. You did not pay tax on it. Anything like that, if you have taken, you have to give it back. So excise duty, GST, compensation, and any reversal of custom duties. Meaning, if you have taken any exemption, you need to pay it back. Simple, yes sir. No DTA shall be permissible in respect of pepper products, marble, and such other items. You cannot sell it in domestic tariff area items. Yes, pepper products, marbles. This reversal of a custom duty would be as per prevailing CON norms. How much to what? It will be as per CON norms. Sales made to a unit in SEZ shall also be taken into account for purpose of arriving at FOB value of export by EOU, provided payment of such sales are made from foreign currency account of SEZ. Meaning, sir, if an export oriented unit sells goods to a unit established in SEZ, we know SEZ is considered as a foreign territory only, so it will be treated as an export only, provided whatever is the money you receive, it has to be received from the foreign currency account of that SEZ. Correct? Okay. An amount equivalent to anti-dumping duty shall be payable on the goods cleared in domestic tariff area. Meaning, people, whenever you are selling those goods, EOU is selling the goods to the domestic tariff area, excise duty, if any exempted, you have to pay back. GST you need to pay back. The third one, compensation cess you need to pay back. The fourth one was if any input credits you had taken, you have to pay back. And the last one, people, there is an additional, because people now from EOU, it was considered as an export. It is coming to India. Now it will be treated as an import. No. An export oriented unit selling it to India will be treated as an import to India. No. So you need to pay something called as anti-dumping duty. Yes, sir. Okay, na. Okay. So this is for goods, people. Okay. This is for goods. The next one is for services. Including software units, sale in DTA in any mode, including online data communication also be permissible up to, so service also you can do DTA items up to 50% of FOB value of exports and or 50% of foreign exchange earned, where payment of such services is received in foreign exchange. Meaning, people, whatever is the value of my FOB, meaning whatever are the exports I made this year, in that, people, up to 50% of it I can make it in DTA, it is allowed. Yes, sir. At the time of DTA clearance, applicable GST compensations, everything is payable. Okay. Next one, sir, gems and jewelry. Here gems and jewelry was exempted, it is coming here. May sell up to 10% of FOB value of exports of the preceding year. In the last year, how much ever exports I made, in that 10% I can make it as a DTA. Subject to fulfillment of positive NFE, meaning you should have positive NFE. If not, you cannot sell the jewelry in the domestic tariff area. The unit shall pay applicable GST compensation cess and reversal of duties if any taken. Simple. Okay. So if you are not in positive NFE, you cannot make domestic tariff area sales. Unless specifically prohibited, LOP, rejects may be sold in DTA on payment of excise duty, GST, compensation or reversal of duty. Correct? This is important. See, not important, I mean different point. If there are any rejects, meaning you sold it, the buyer abroad has rejected it. Now you got it back to India. Now can I sell it in the local India, sir? Can I do it? They are telling yes, it's possible. However, you need to pay all the duties exempted, all that correct. But addition thing is that sale of rejects up to 5% of FOB value of exports shall not be subject to achievement of NFE. Meaning, people, imagine I have rejects. I want to sell it that particular thing in India. Now, generally till now, whatever you saw, if you want to sell it in India, you need to have positive NFE. They're telling if you are selling this rejects up to 5% of your FOB value, even if you have not yet achieved your NFE, positive NFE, if it's not there, up to 5%, it is not required also, it seems. You can still sell it. Beyond 5%, then you need to first achieve positive NFE. Simple. Okay, next one. This is also same thing, scrap waste remnants. This is also possible, people. How? You guys need to pay the excise duty exempted, you need to pay whatever is the duties exempted, reversal, everything is same. However, such sale of scrap waste remnants shall not be subject to achievement of positive NFE. Meaning people, I need not have a positive NFE to sell my scrap, waste and remainings. Clear? Sir, so for everything we have to pay the duty back. You have a choice people. What? If you want to sell it to India, you need to pay the duty back. Imagine you decide not to sell it to India. You do not want to make a DTA sale. Then sir, do one thing. Destroy whatever is your scrap, wastage, whatever is the rejects. Do one thing. Just destroy it. If you destroy it people, then no taxes will be paid. Yes sir. Yes sir. So if you want to save tax, destroy it. Who will destroy it? Okay. Same thing sir. Byproducts included in may also be sold in DTA subject to achievement of positive NFE. Meaning people, byproducts, I told you no, butter, buttermilk. You can sell it at SIMS provided you should be positive NFE. If not, not possible. Is this clear? Yes sir. This thing is clear? Yes sir. Okay. One sec.
Sir, till now whatever you said, what NFP, if at all you are making sale of your normal goods, rejected goods, scrap. Sir, NFP it was not counted, but sir, now I am supplying it to DTA only. But sir, other supplies counted for fulfillment of NFE. Yes, sir. Till now you were not adding in NFE, but now these things will be added in NFE. What is that? You will make sense. It will make sense for you. See this. Supplies affected in DTA to holders of advance authorization, DFIA, EPCG. When we were doing your advance authorization, we saw a point. I told you that is the last topic. We'll be doing it. You will be able to connect it. What is that, sir? The advance authorized person, sir, without the letter of, what is that? What is that letters we saw? ARO and, what is that, man? Cancellation one. Invalidation letter. Yes. Sir, invalidation letter and without ARO. We saw a case where, sir, you can still procure goods. People, can you see this? So, sir, when the advance authorization holder can get it from these people, you are seeing the other point, other perspective here. So, these people can supply goods to advance authorization holders or DFI or your EPCG scheme. For them, it will be considered as import only. Getting the point? So that is what you saw there. This is what you are seeing here. So these people can give their goods to advance authorization holders, your DFIA holders, EPCG scheme holders, because they want to import. They can take from here. Getting the point? Sir, second one, you are supplying to anyone in DTA and he is paying you in foreign currency. Obviously, I will take it because I'm getting in foreign currency. Sir, third one, you're making a supply to another EOU. So one EOU making to another EOU, one EHTP making to another EHTP. So sir, inter units valid, sir. It will be counted as a valid supply. I can add that value to my positive NFE. Whatever is my net foreign exchange earnings, I can add it to that. Fourth one, supplies made to bonded warehouse. Bonded warehouse people, the warehouses with whom we have a agreement. Basically, these are government bonded warehouse. So if you are supplying to them, you can again claim your net positive. Whatever your NRE, you can add that money there. Fifth one, you are supplying goods to organizations entitled for duty-free import. Sir, ministries and departments of government, which is ideally given by Ministry of Finance only. You give it to them, you can claim as your net foreign earnings. So you can take it as a earnings for you valid. Sir, supplies of information technology. valid. Sir, supply of label, tags, printed bags, stickers, belts, buttons, hangers to DTA unit for export, valid. Yes, sir. And people, supply of LPG, liquid petroleum gas, this for a domestic purpose, valid. Household domestic consumer, if you are a export oriented unit, you are taken LPG from outside, you have imported it, and locally you are supplying it, valid. You can add it because it's a business. End of the day, it is a business. That is how you earn money. So it is valid, provided you need to get permission from two ministries: Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Ministry of Finance. So these cases, even if you are supplying to domestic tariff area, that money whatever they pay, you can add it to your NFE. Sir, whatever you saw here, though you are supplying to domestic tariff area, cannot be added in NFE. Do you guys understand this?
Yes, people, the next topic, inter-unit transfer. What do you mean by inter-unit transfer, sir? Sir, there is one EOU. Whatever are the products they have manufactured or whatever is the capital goods they have taken under EPCG or any other schemes, if I have procured any capital goods, I will transfer my capital goods or my raw materials or my finished products to another EOU. In this case, what will happen, sir? Simple, people. Whichever is the unit that is taking this goods from one more unit, that is a recipient unit, it will be written as recipient unit. The recipient unit will treat this as import for it. And if at all this unit is further selling the goods in DTA, assume domestic tariff area, whatever are the duties that the first EOU had to pay, along with that whatever is the anti-dumping duty this EOU has to pay, everything has to be paid by the recipient unit. That's the only thing. So whatever are the exemptions that is availed by the first unit, that has to be paid by the EOU unit only. And all this will happen with prior approval of Development Commissioner. See, transfer of manufactured goods from one EOU to another with prior intimation to concerned development commissioners and custom authorities as per the following procedure. The supplier unit shall endorse, that is the first EOU, it will endorse on usual commercial documents, that is tax invoice, delivery challan, the amount of duties of customs leviable, that is whatever is the input credit they have taken already, exemptions they have taken, they will endorse it into the name of the buyer. Availed as exemption on inputs used in the manufacture of such finished goods, including byproduct rejected, applies to everything, supplied to another unit. The recipient unit shall pay such endorsed custom duty besides his own liability of reversal of custom duty as provided before clearance of such finished goods in DTA. Imagine if I do not sell it in DTA, the second unit is further exporting it, then obviously this will not come into picture. It's absolutely fine. If you are selling it in DTA, only then this will come into picture. I hope it's clear. Next one, sir. Capital goods also may be transferred or it can be given on loan, that is what lease, with prior intimation to concerned DC and customs authorities. Even capital goods can also be given. Goods supplied by one unit shall be treated as imported for the second unit. We saw that. In respect of group of EOUs, what is group of EOUs? Imagine there is one tech park, in that there are three export oriented units. There are three export oriented units. Imagine they need some raw material. If they place an order individually, the price they get will be a little higher. To avoid that, what they may do, they may combine, they may place one order, one group order to have that negotiating power to save some money. Now this is also possible, people, to get that bulk discounts. So one unit may import everything and it can further transfer the goods amongst them. This is allowed and it is valid as well. That's what this says. See. In respect of a group of EOUs which source inputs centrally, in order to obtain bulk discount or reduction of cost or transportation, and other logistics cost and or to maintain effective supply chain, inter-unit transfer of goods and services may be permitted on a case-to-case basis by the unit approval committee. They may give you this approval. In case of inputs so sourced are imported and then transferred to another unit, then value of the goods so transferred shall be taken as inflow for the unit transferring these goods and as outflow for the unit receiving these goods for the purpose of calculation of NFE. For net foreign exchange, your net foreign earnings for the unit which is taking it and for the unit which is receiving it, whatever the total inflow, because one unit is receiving everything, right? So for NFE it will be inflow for one person, NFE will be outflow for another unit. Clear? This is inter-unit transfer. And next one, they have put one more thing called as replacement repair of imported goods or indigenous goods. This is nothing but, people, whatever we saw up. Imagine if at all you have imported any goods, if there are any defects in that, you will ask for replacement, right? The same thing is applicable here also. So general provision of FTP relating to export or import of replacement repair of goods would also apply equally to EOU. So no authorization, with authorization, all that we saw, same thing applies here also. When we saw export import, if you remember. Goods sold in DTA and not accepted for any reasons may be brought back for repair or replacement under intimation to concerned jurisdictional customs authorities. Meaning, sir, imagine if I sold any goods in the domestic tariff area, if they have any problems, I can bring it back, that's absolutely fine. Goods or parts thereof on being imported or indigenously procured and found defective or otherwise unfit for use, which have been damaged or become defective subsequently, may be returned against refund of purchase value again or against replacement or destruction. Meaning, sir, I have imported some goods, sir. The goods has been either it has been defective. Now you are sending it back. In this case, these three things should happen. Either send it back, get your full money back, or send back the goods, get a new goods, replacement, or destroy the goods, get your money back. In the event of all these people, the goods may be received from foreign supplier or their authorized agents in India, or indigenous supplier. The unit can take free of cost replacement, absolutely fine, from the authorized people. Meaning, if the foreign supplier only gives you one more product, it's well and good. If he has any agents in India who is supplying the goods on behalf of that foreigner, you can take it from him also, that is also valid. Yes, sir. If you do not want all this, then you have to destroy the goods. However, this destruction is not applicable for the precious stones, meaning your gold, diamond. For that, this destruction is not applicable. If not, you need to pay the duty. Simple? Yes? Okay.
Vijayamala example. Sale and lease is very simple. You sell a product to a same person, you get it back from him only on rent. That contract is called as sale and lease. So you are selling your aircraft and getting the same thing on rent. Yeah. But generally, I told you, in our example, you should not remove the product from the unit, and you should always be under profits. No, that is the reason I told you when we were explaining. This will not go with the example, but understand the situation. This will happen in the case of fixed assets. Say, for example, plant and machinery. Or you have a building, you sell it, you can leave in that on rent. Okay. Some 2-3 concepts left. So the next concept is called as subcontracting. What is this subcontracting? Subcontracting is nothing but job work, people. What is job work, sir? You are taking a contract, but you are giving it to someone else to finish it. That process is called as either jobbing or job work or subcontracting, whatever you call. Yes, sir. So generally, what do you mean by subcontracting or jobbing or job work? Sir, now there is our main EOU. Sir, he got a good export order. Now, either he can only do or he can get it outsourced. Yeah, he can outsource it to two people. One, he can outsource it to a person who is in DTA, domestic tariff area. If at all he outsources it to a person in domestic tariff area, so he will also work on the product. Whatever is required, he'll finish it. He will give it back to EOU. For him, he can consider this as a deemed export, because whatever he is working, end of the day is being exported, right? So end of the day, he can claim your duty drawbacks. Correct? The next one. Sir, if not to a DTA, if you want, you can even send it to a foreign intermediary. Sir, if you want, you can send it to a DTA. If not, you can even send it to a foreign intermediary. Yes, sir. So I can get my materials outsourced. That is, I can get the work done by outsourcing it to DTA. The person who is in DTA can also claim drawback for an intermediary. Basically, I can even outsource it even outside India also. This is also possible. This is what we saw under intermediate supply. You remember, you will work on half of the goods under AA, advance authorization. You would have seen this. Sir, you will work half on the goods, and whatever is that half, you will supply it to someone else. He will continue from there. This is called what, sir? This is called as intermediate supply also. Sir, now this, again, it will be considered like export only. You can send it there. Absolutely fine. Yes, no issues. Now, sir, whatever is left in, just that if at all you want to claim the duty drawback, who? The DTA. On whatever exports you make, both the names should be mentioned. You need to mention the DTA name also. You need to mention your name also. If this is done, then both of you can claim drawback. Duty drawback. Both EOU as well as DTA. Yes, sir. Sir, now whenever we have ordered raw material, now the scrap or the wastage, whom does it belong to? Does it belong to DTA or does it belong to EOU? The law says whoever got the order, to him only the order, the entire scrap belongs to. So, sir, the scrap, wastage, or whatever products are left out, it always belongs to EOU. So when it belongs to EOU, sir, whatever scrap illustrations we saw, same thing will apply. Meaning, sir, if you destroy it, no tax. But if you sell it, you have to pay the duty and sell it. Is this clear? So this is your subcontracting. Any doubts? Simple. So production process abroad, that is your intermediate supply, or you can supply it to your DTA units as well. So you have to mention both the names so that both of you can claim duty drawback. Scrap and waste, destruction, or absolutely no problem. Any other case, it will be considered as your supply. This destruction does not apply in the case of gold and silver. Just to avoid tax, if you say I will destroy it, government will not let you do it. So that you cannot destroy. Okay, sir. Sir, the next one, sale of unutilized material. So people, we saw, sir, I have ordered 1 lakh meters worth cloth. 90,000 only I have used. What to do the 10,000? You have three options. What is that? First one, you can transfer it to any other unit. You can transfer it to any other unit. There is this always coming. What is that? I'll tell you. So you can transfer it to any other unit. Next one, you can dispose it off. Two, sir, to DTA, that is domestic tariff area. For this, you need approval of customs authorities and obviously whatever is the payment of applicable duties. So first one, give it off to any other unit just like you. Second one, give it off to DTA. Third one, export it off. Simple. Yes, if at all you are giving it to any other EOU, EHTP, STP, BTP, For him it will be considered as import, for you it will be considered as export only. So you will be complying the law. If you are disposing it off to DTA, whenever DTA comes, just remember those two things. You can do it up to 50% of FOB, sir, applicable duties to be paid. That's the only thing. Yes, all of you, sir, exported, absolutely no problem. Sir, this is in the case of your goods. Sir, what if it is capital goods? Answer won't change, it's the same. Once the capital goods has become obsolete means what, people, outdated. Today it is no longer good. So what do I do? You wear and tear, you tell, no? Today it is either outdated or it is done. What do I do with it, sir? Same thing. You can either export it to someone else, or you can transfer it to any other unit, or you can dispose it off to DTA. How, sir? Same thing, on payment of applicable duties. Same thing. Yeah. No duty payable if there is destruction. Okay. Write this down. Write down this. Sir, exit from EOU scheme. Exit from EOU scheme. First of all, what did I tell you yesterday? EOU and all, you can import materials, goods, capital goods without paying any duty, because you have promised that you will be exporting it. Now you got it everything inside, but you are locally selling it. Imagine the profit margin. There is no import, but you are able to make good sales. So that is the reason whatever is the duty you have to pay back. Yeah. Huh. So exit from EOU. Exit from EOU scheme. Sir, I have set up this EOU, sir, but it is very difficult, sir. You are telling that net foreign exchange and all. I can't maintain all that, sir. It is becoming very difficult. Please let me out of the scheme. Can I come out of it? What is the procedure? First one, whoever is the EOU unit. EOU unit. Sir, there is a person called as Development Commissioner. There is a person called as Development Commissioner. Okay, sir. So you are intimating. So you will intimate the Development Commissioner, plus you need to assess duty liability. You need to assess the duty liability on debonding. Okay, you are exiting. Okay, what if you have imported goods for next 5 years and now you want to export? I mean, you want to debond. Okay, da debond, good. Just that, make sure you assess the duty liability. Meaning what? Whatever is the stock left in your godown, whichever is unutilized, whatever is the capital goods you have still have it, those things, assess the liability. How much you will have to pay? You pay that. I mean, you have to come arrive at a figure, intimate the Development Commissioner, sir, I want to step out of the scheme. Okay, sir. Development Commissioner and Customs and Central Excise. Customs and Central Excise. Customs and Central Excise shall confirm duty liabilities, shall confirm the duty liabilities and after payment of duty, and clearances, it shall issue what, sir? A no due certificate. No dues certificate. No dues certificate. Nothing to write, but I'll connect something here. No dues certificate. On the basis of no due certificate, unit shall apply for final debonding. Final debonding. To whom? To Development Commissioner. Remember all these authorities: Development Commissioner, BOA. Why, sir? Next chapter, carry forward, cut, copy, paste. Development Commissioner. Now this person, if there is no proceeding pending, DC shall issue debonding within 7 days. Within 7 days. And finally, we will reach the stage of debonding. That is, this is nothing but your exit. Sir, between these two process, between these two, unit shall not claim any exemption on inputs. Yes, sir. So whoever wants to come out of this EO unit, first one, you have to intimate how, sir, come up with a duty. Whatever is your outstanding stock plus capital goods which you have imported without paying the duty, assess a duty on it, and you intimate to two people: Development Commissioner and Customs and Central Excise. The Customs and Central Excise wing is basically the who takes care of your imports and exports. So, sir, the Customs wing will go through whatever you have given. They will assess whether whatever the duty you have mentioned, it is right or wrong. After going through, after being satisfied, they will issue something called as no due certificate. After the customs authority has issued no due certificate, on the basis of that, you will again apply for a final debonding with the Development Commissioner. The Development Commissioner, he will check whether you have any pending proceedings, any pending cases. Sir, if there is nothing, sir, within the 7 days of you applying the final debonding order, it will issue the debonding. From the date you got a no due certificate and from the day of debonding, in between that, you shall not import, basically you should not claim anything, any duty free things on your inputs. Even if the process is still going on, it can so happen that whatever is your ongoing products are, you will have to complete those contracts at least. So for that also, you should not claim any inputs. You have to clear everything, only then you can sell or buy things. This is what is your exit. Clear? Copied, all of you? exports through exhibitions. What is this? Sir, EOU, EHTP, STP, BTP. They can sell abroad. They can also sell in DTA. That we have seen. Sir, apart from that, where else they can export things? First one, they can export things to any exhibitions happening outside India. With permission of your development commissioner, you can participate in any whatever exhibitions which are happening outside India. What is exhibition? Basically, those things will be there, no? Where in one place, best example, Dubai Expo, correct. You can participate in such things by sending that. Yes, sir. Next one, sir, personal carriage. What do you mean by personal carriage? If you guys know your customs, there are two types. One is baggage. The second one is one you can carry personally with you in the flight. Sir, personal carriage of gold, silver, platinum jewelry, precious, semi-precious stones, articles are allowed. How much, sir? Up to you can carry worth of 10 kgs in a financial year. Who will do it, sir? Who can carry? An authorized person of this gems and jewelry, of this EOU, he can carry it. Third one, sir, you can also export the goods for display or sale in permitted shops set up abroad. So, sir, there are certain export units outside India, sir. There you can send your goods as display products. Sir, next one, display or sell in permitted shops abroad or in showrooms or their distributors or agents. Basically, again, display only, but the place is different. Here, distributors, agents, showrooms are also coming into picture. The last one, sir, set up showrooms or retail outlets in international airports. If you go to Bangalore international airports, you have something called as duty free shops. Yeah, you will get all your yes, sir. In your duty free shops, the best things you see there is chocolates, liquor, perfume. Yes, sir. If you go to international airport, you guys can see that, no? So, sir, to any of such international airports, you can set your retail outlets. No, the shops in airports, no, you can also collect money in forex. It's not that it is only in rupees. Yeah, and that is the reason you are seeing this under exception. So generally you have to sell that, generally you have to export. Apart from that, these things also you can do. If you see here, in every place you are not selling it, actually you are giving it as a display product. Yes, so all these are also valid. Now, sir, we are selling, we are buying so many goods. We are importing as well as we are exporting. Now, sir, when we are importing and exporting, what if the goods or the materials are not up to the standards or quality? Sir, the goods were defect. You showed me something, but you sold me something. Sir, in these cases, what will happen? Whenever there is an import, that is purchase or sell of an international trade, that is buy and sell of import or export is happening, sir, first thing, people, if at all there is any problem, you will first sit and try to settle the things. This is called as amicable settlement. What do you mean by amicable settlement, people? Friendly settlement. You will first try to strike a deal by, first of all, you will sit and try to see what has gone wrong. Quality, why, what happened, was it your mistake, something has broken, whose mistake, what has happened? You will try to first sit and settle it down. That is called as amicable settlement. Okay, sir. Now, first of all, the quality and all, where have we agreed, sir, that this is what is the quality we give? You remember there was something called a shipping bill, or you also call it as your bill of export. Initially, when you were exporting the goods, or when other person is importing the goods. So here, people, the exporter will generally give a declaration. Whatever are the products I'm exporting, it is to the best of my knowledge, of the best of the quality. He will give a declaration here. Based on that declaration, I can hold you liable if you are selling any defected raw material. Okay, sir. Now first we are trying to settle it down amicable, friendly. But people, if at all it is proven that you are wantedly, you are misusing, that is, you are wantedly sending a defected product, it is not good for India. Foreign trade policy objectives, first thing, to make sure that the quality and standards are met. We cannot go wrong here because it will hit our entire exports only. Going forward, they'll say, do not buy those products from India, it will always be defective. They will not say, do not buy that product from that one particular seller. They will say India. So we cannot take risk, people. If at all you are proven guilty, that is, you have not done properly, the board may take an action against you. How, sir? First thing, it can suspend or cancel your import-export code. Going forward, no longer import, no longer export. Second one, it can refuse to grant a renewal. Once you are done, done. Go away. Enough. Yes, sir. Third one, it can suspend or cancel any license or certificate or script. I have given you MEIS, I have given you SCIS, advance authorizations, all your DFIA, EPCG, I will cancel all that. Fourth one, if I feel even all this is not sufficient, I will also impose a penalty on you. Yes, sir. Against whom, sir? Against a erring exporter. What is this erring, sir? A person who has not met the quality, or a person who has not met the provisions, not met the rules. A person who breaks everything is called as erring. Erring exporter, a person who has actually done a fake, a fraud export. So this is what is the punishment we are giving him. Simple, suspend or cancel, no renewal, suspension of your scripts, penalty. Simple. Okay, sir. So who will do all this, sir? A committee on quality, complaints and trade disputes. Sir, that forex can be used personally by the shopkeeper or to be deposited with the bank. Notify the authorities. Personal use, no. See, first thing, if you want to set up a duty-free shop in airports, it is not easy. For that also you need licenses. You need to show your books also end of the day. So personal usage cannot happen. I don't know if duty-free shops, whatever you buy there, you cannot further sell it. That is also there. And there is a limit also on how much you can buy. All those things will come there. I mean, if you're taking outside and going. Generally, whatever happens with regards to airport or this duties, it will be your customs and central excise. But if it happens anything in your unit, then the development commissioner or BOA, all those people will come into place. If it is anything to do with export and import, sir, customs and central excise. Yeah. Huh. So, sir, mechanism for handling the complaints or disputes. So this is the body. It is called CQCTD. So these are constituted in 22 offices of your entire regional authorities of DGFT. Sir, what is their composition? This is their composition. Do not bother. Not that important. Sir, functions. The committee will inquire and investigate into quality and other trade related complaints falling under the jurisdiction of the respective regional authority. There are 22. It will take prompt and effective steps to resolve your issue of the importers, exporters and overseas buyers also, preferably within 3 months of the receipt of the complaint. Sir, always remember, whatever is the board we have set up here, CQCTD, is just to bring an amicable settlement. We will try to resolve the issue in a friendly way. If you are not satisfied, you are still free to take a legal action. Legal action, sir, you can still go to court. CQCTD proceedings are only reconciliatory in nature, and the aggrieved party, whether the foreign or the Indian, is free to pursue any legal course against the other erring party. Yes, sir. So it is just a friendly thing what we are trying to do. If you are not satisfied, we will not stop you. You can still take disciplinary action. Now you guys can have a doubt. What is that? Sir, which court should we go? It depends upon your contract. Whenever you guys enter into a contract, you should also define the jurisdiction. All the international contracts define a jurisdiction. What is that? In case of breach of contract, which law will we be following, or which courts we will be approaching? Forget about that. You approach any other service providers also. When you are entering into a contract, you see in that one of the clause will be there. In case of any service disputes, the what is that? The legal authority will be the Bangalore jurisdiction. So if you want to file a case, you have to come to Bangalore only. So we have seen in Indian Contract Act, whatever you have accepted, the contract, in that terms and conditions also you are accepting it, special conditions. So you are accepting it. Yes, sir. So who will inquire and investigate, sir? Everything will be done by export inspection agency. They will check whether whether you have met with the standards, all that is fine or not, whether there was defects, are you the defaulter. They will check everything, and then they will issue a final settlement order. Yes, sir. The DGFT would appoint an officer to be called as a nodal officer. Who is this person? What is his role? Sir, there are total 22 regional authorities. He will coordinate between all the 22 regional authorities. He will be called as a nodal officer. Yes, sir. End of chapter 9. Any doubts, people? Chapter 9, go home, make sure you guys read and finish today only. Yes.